Hello, Play the Game family. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Today's episode is brought to you by Brand CBD. They are a CBD powerhouse, and they are moving and shaking in the paintball community in 2021 and beyond, so be on the lookout for them. They have something amazing called Nano Cbd, which is water soluble and has ultimate absorption rate into the human body and is true nanotechnology, which is a raw hemp oil that is put through an additional refinement process to break up the large CBD particles into microscopic greatness so that it can move more easily through your cell walls in your body. Nano provides faster and more complete absorption into your endocannabinoid system, and a little bit of this stuff goes a long way, so it's going to last you a very long time. They have Nano Amp energy shots, Nano Knockout sleep aid, they have CBD for your pets, and cool down cream for your muscles after a long day of paintball. And we truly believe that everybody deserves the opportunity to heal, and they want to help you do that. So head over to healbrand.com and use code PLAYTHEGAME for 10% off. We absolutely love Healbrand and can't wait for you to check them out. This episode is brought to you by the one and only G2 Paintball. If you are in Arizona or on the West Coast and soon to be nationally, be on the lookout for G2 training dates and be sure to sign up. They are a paintball athletics company designed to help you become the best paintball athlete imaginable by running you through all of the different moves and techniques that you need to know and you're going to be implementing on the paintball field. So that way when you get into the situations, the muscle memory is dialed in. You are also going to learn skills. You're going to learn tactics, and of course the agility, which is training to maximize your performance on and off the field. This stuff is used by myself and Marcelo, and we're pushing paintball players to become pro or just dominate in your division. Don't make excuses out there. Physical fitness is at an all-time high in paintball, and you cannot win paintball tournaments unless you are ready to go physically on Sunday when you're dead tired and you're ready to hold up that trophy with your friends and family. So you got to be prepared, and G2 will help you do that. Head on over to g2paintball.com. Also check out their Instagram at G2Paintball and give our man Victor Gamboa at Gamboa Limited, that's his Instagram, a follow and support him as well. It's owned and operated by Victor and Rusty, and they're doing tremendous things in the sport. We absolutely love G2, and we cannot wait for you to get involved. So have some fun with G2 Paintball. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by Transfuse, the amazing premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula that is scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in their products. It is packed full of zinc, vitamin B6, vitamin C, sodium, potassium, and choline. And when you take this product, you are going to feel the difference on and off the field. I know that playing paintball with Transfuse has been a game changer, and it will be for you as well. If you head over to translabs.com, that's translabs.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME, you will get 10% off. And if you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you get an additional 10% off. So you can take advantage of a total of 20% off on these amazing products. Also, head over to their Instagram at transfuse.official and check them out, and be on the lookout for their new flavors and brain booster nootropics that are coming soon. We absolutely love Transfuse from top to bottom, one of the best companies in the world with the greatest people running it. So head on over and become a part of their community and check them out.
Hello, PTG world. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode, we have longtime Dynasty legend Johnny Perchak. You guys definitely know Johnny if you know Dynasty. Johnny has been in the game for an incredibly long time, and he has accomplished more than most paintball players will ever dream of. His stories of the OG Dynasty days were really fun to get into. Johnny has been a good friend of both Tyler and myself for a long time, and a great mentor, and just an awesome individual, and a great storyteller. So really grateful to have Johnny sit down and chat with us, and you guys are going to love this episode. Without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
The man, the myth, the legend. We got Johnny Perchak on the show. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. How you doing?
Dude, boys, I'm pumped.
Yeah, JP, dude. Dude, I don't think the listeners are ready for all this.
I'm not ready.
Dude, you're one of my favorite storytellers of all time.
Oh boy.
Just pretty much any story you tell is there's a ton of highlights. It's hilarious. I'm laughing the whole time. I love it. Dude, so I'm excited.
Alex used to call me Mother Goose, and I absolutely hated
it. Mother Goose. Oh, it's funny. Speaking of Alex, I think we're going to try to call him a little bit later, get him on the show with sweet. You. You know, come in. He has some hard questions for you, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, I bet he does.
Yeah.
Johnny's repping the crispy Hostile Kids shirt right now, fresh out the package.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. Anytime I give them a call, they send me.
Oh man, they're the best.
Yeah,
they take care, man. They definitely take care. So how's everything been? It's been a wild, year and a half, couple years here. How have you been okay through everything, and where are you reporting from?
Yeah, we've been doing fine, luckily.
Good.
And Walnut Creek, California, that's where I live. I was pretty much born and raised like half a mile from where I live now, so didn't stray too far from home.
Yeah, shout out to Norcal, Walnut Creek. Yep, it's in the building.
Yeah, you guys are both from up in that NorCal area.
Yep.
Hella cool, boys. Hella cool.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
Yeah, man.
I'll give you that. At least I don't think you say that one, Johnny.
No,
it's not really on your vocab.
Hella will slide out every once in a while, but it's usually on accident.
I think you always wanted to be SoCal.
Dude, to be honest, I love it up here. I moved back. I've been here for a long time. Grew up here, but man, there's something about Southern California.
It's amazing.
I can go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
it's all those.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I want I want all the seasons." I don't want any of that. I want palm trees and sunshine every day.
I'm down to have some seasons, to be honest. I guess it's better to go visit the seasons, right? You don't have to shovel your car out of snow before work or before whatever you got to do.
You visit whenever you want, but if you wake up and it's 70 degrees and the sun is shining, it's a good day.
It's true.
Yeah,
75 and sunny.
That's
the San Diego forecast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's probably something about Southern California. Maybe it's, winning all those glorious events in Huntington Beach right there on the sand with Dynasty back in the day. Probably makes it a little sweeter for you.
Yeah. That was the glory days right there. I'll tell you what. Sorry, my phone's going crazy. Just being able to go like an hour from home and have like all your friends, your family, everybody there. Not to mention it was the biggest event of the year every year, for I don't remember when the first one was. Was it like 2003 or something?
Yeah, I think 2003. Yeah,
I played the very first one in the sand watched you guys out there. It was crazy.
That might be the most tired I've ever been running on the beach all day long.
Oof. I know. Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy that's how it started out.
Yeah, and it's like you can't like slide in any spots. You kind of just like run so slow and barely make anything. There was no like quick bumps. We only did it once. So honestly, it was so long ago I barely remember it. But like those little like intricacies. But
yeah, it was just that 1 year. That was the only year they did that first one. And then nobody's equipment worked. Everyone was trudging around and like, man, you could like hauling your paint to the pit was also a whole deal. Walking around with all the gear. It was definitely an experience.
Yeah, carrying all that paint, just walking through the sand, and then I think the next year that they put turf, but then they even put like little wood planks everywhere, so you didn't.
Yeah,
you had a little bit of space to walk.
Yep.
Yeah, that was wild.
Legendary.
Yeah, I
It got
miss-
bigger and bigger and bigger. And then
Oh,
there's
crazy.
those like, so my famous book just came in like yesterday. So I've looked through like a quarter of it, but there's a couple photos of guys with the backdrop of just a sea of people like as high as you can see.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was insane.
Insane.
Actually, they're coming on the show next. They'll be episode number 102. We are
103. We got
103.
Tom Cole next. Yep, it'll be
That's right.
TC, and then
Yeah, both
those
of them.
guys. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have them on, and that's gonna be a pretty crazy show. That'll be coming up in the beginning of next month. That's Chris Diltz and Chris Haas,
Yeah.
both of them,
Yeah,
just
I remember
crushing
those
it.
guys, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
that book looks insane. Do you have it with you? Do you have it nearby?
Downstairs, it wouldn't take me long to grab it, but I can grab it.
Okay.
At some
yeah,
point,
yeah.
if you want me to, if you want to
Yeah,
grab
at some
it now
point
or
maybe.
whatever.
Dude, that thing is
Yeah.
insane. It's massive. It's just like
Yeah, and I
looks like
got,
it's
like,
great quality.
Do you have it yet? Do you have yours?
Not yet. No.
I wish. Yeah.
I was getting like all these random messages, people I didn't know, and they were showing me like little like clips from the book and this and that. I'm like, "Dude, I don't have mine yet.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed. I want my book
How many-
to show up.
Yeah,
How many times are you in it?
endless.
Dude, I literally haven't. I barely looked through it. I got through
Oh, okay.
I think it goes like it starts off like in '99. So like I was going through like the early stuff, and like there's nothing to me in '99. I think I played my first NPBL event in 2000. So, but like those were all the guys that I not looked up to, but I thought they were just so rad. Like Aftershock, they were just
Yeah.
so tough and like looked like no one wanted to mess with them. So they were always my favorite team. So I was
Yeah.
reading all that stuff.
They're the bad boys,
Lockout,
dude.
And like, dude, they were so tight.
So tight, dude.
Lockout was like so
man.
badass. Nobody ever wanted to play Lockout. Aftershock.
Yeah.
Nobody for sure ever wanted to fight Aftershock.
Yeah.
That was so cool to me.
Yeah, man, they were badass. That paintball, man, the nostalgia of those like early 2000 years, and as it's all progressed, are still my favorite times ever. I'll hold them, as cherished memories as I go through this game. God willing, for as long as I can. But those times, man, are just it's paintball history that has to be databased, and that's why we love having you on the show, because you were a part of legitimately the most dominant force, not only in paintball, but man, damn near in sports. Like you guys crushed it for a long time, and stuff like that just doesn't happen too often. So it's really valuable for us to, pick your brain, because you guys are the GOATs, you're the real GOATs.
Dude, it was fun. It was super fun. Yeah, a little bit about the old stuff. Like, dude, it was so like gritty and grimy, and people had this. You only have one pair of goggles, and you have like one pair of pants. You might only have one knee pad, and this was like pro teams,
I know.
And they were like, nobody was getting any money, and everyone was there just because they loved it, and everyone would get there and they would like have a beer with somebody else, and it was like, it changed a whole lot. Probably for the better, but just it's just different to where now, like, you show up to a tournament, you get like, 3 new jerseys and 2 new sets of goggles and a new loader, and everyone's like clean.
What team
and
you playing for these
like,
days?
Dude, the OG Dynasty.
New loaders, double goggles.
Dude, honestly, it was like a thing. They wanted us to always have like brand new, fresh gear, like every time.
Yeah,
we
totally.
played. Like not every time we played, like for an event, but I'm talking like every day. They didn't want us to wear dirty clothes. They wanted us to be like pristine.
Jeez.
And that's like, I don't know, the old stuff with like, I never wore Scott goggles, but the guys with the Scott goggles just look so mean, and they were already always banged up, and they were like scratches and on the goggles, and like, I don't know, that old school was just tight.
I mean, they used to play with no face mask, and that's insane.
I never did that.
That's insane.
Actually, I did that, but like
Walk-ons.
yeah, and like
I
early
haven't
on
even done that.
walk-ons, but
Damn.
yeah, man, I wasn't trying to lose a tooth.
No.
Dude, what?
Bust the lip.
Imagine like a league someday in the future where they go back to that or something,
Well, they're already working on with the 10-man, but if they could let you do half mask,
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I'm
That'd
not
be-
doing it.
That'd be
Yeah.
crazy. Imagine the communication though on your your vocals mid game are just on
So good.
point.
You ain't take a shot in the throat. You're not going to be communicating shit.
You take one of the trachea and it's all over.
Yeah.
And that is a very real possibility for sure with that
exactly.
that
It
situation.
was smart for them to, put in a face mask.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll keep it that way.
Yeah. Or maybe, all right, so how about you just have like a predator style, like little
Ooh.
drop piece
Ooh.
that guards the mouth, and then the cheeks are open. How about
So you
something
can
like that?
Get smacked up in the cheeks.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, man.
I'd
That'd be
rather get
crazy.
shot in the cheek and the teeth for sure.
Yeah.
None of it sounds really that sweet.
No, it sounds terrible.
Yeah. It'd be like that taser ball. Johnny, did you ever see taser ball?
Dude, so they tried to get me to do the taser
No way,
ball,
buddy.
and I'm like, wait, so what do you do? And they're like, no, you'll love it. It's like super athletic. Everyone's running around. I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. And then what's the taser part? And they're like, oh, you have a taser. You run around and tase each other. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. You know, that instantly made it not fun. But Thomas Taylor did it. I remember they talked him into
Oh,
it.
man.
Of course he
and
did,
Riley Sullivan, too.
Of course.
Okay, yeah,
Running around like wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Damian Ryan did it as well. Scott Kemp
You're right.
did it. Yeah.
Did Ryan did it?
Yeah, Damian did it.
Damian,
I'm
Damian
pretty
Ryan.
positive. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, that was so long ago too, but I remember that, and I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
No way.
Pussy, whatever. I wasn't interested in getting tased.
I was still I was a youngster, you know, I was just like fresh out of high school or something, or maybe even still in high school when they were doing that.
Yeah,
I was
your dad's letting you play paintball when you're 12, but he's not letting you play taser ball.
Get tased up.
Yeah.
Just sizzling out there. Those guys were, dude, they would hold them on each other too. You would see them just sizzling each other.
No.
I guess it did get a lot of views though, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there something about it? Like it was about to get this big deal or like look really promising. I don't remember, but I feel like it had success.
It's like the shock factor. Like,
yeah, literally.
Guys running around tasing each other. I'll watch it for sure. You know, I don't know if I'd watch it every week, but I'll watch it the first time for sure.
Yeah.
What's your take on like all these wild sports on like ESPN? Like, you know, they got the cornhole, but we don't got paintball, or like, what's your take on all these off sports, but just paintball can't get in there anywhere?
I mean, I don't want to be a hater, you know, but I think it's dumb. I mean, it's cool that these sports are able to like, okay, cool. Hey, you know, get your deal on there and, you know, kind of show out for what you're doing in your sport, and how everyone should have a cool sport, something they strive to do, whatever. I think that's awesome. You wake up in the morning and want to be good at something rather than just work every day. But like, I just don't understand how, in my opinion, a million more people would want to watch a paintball tournament than watch cornhole or darts or, I mean, there's stupid ones on there, you know, that bothers me.
Yeah, they're all great sports. Like, I love cornhole. I love darts. Don't get me wrong. I love them all, dude. I love all these sports, but I'm just like,
I can't call those sports.
I don't know.
They're competitive games. You know, I feel like sports, there has to be some athleticism to it. You know, not just, you know, I guess hand-eye coordination, but I don't know. It's a game, right?
Yeah, I just got playing a ton of darts and a ton of cornhole, but I wouldn't want to watch somebody else do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exciting at all.
Paintball is exciting. I'll give it that.
Super exciting, but paintball's always had the problem where there's not a single ball. You know, it's not like you focus on the ball, you focus on the puck, you focus on the football, like focus on the soccer ball. It's like everyone has the ball, so like trying to film that live. Like, I think aside from the one that was on in like 90 or something, the one on ESPN, the paintball one, like I've played in all the ones on TV, so that was really cool. Like, I love that, you know. And for me, it was great to watch, but apparently not a lot of other people like to watch it, or not enough anyway. They did that 3-man silly one in Vegas.
I was there for that too.
Yeah. And then they like ran out of money, and then they had to stay in Vegas for a week and film like 5 episodes. Yep. Which was crazy to stay in Vegas for a week, but
you guys actually, Dynasty, when I was playing on Oakland at that 3-man, I mobbed with you guys back to like your guys' casino, and then caught a ride with someone else. But you guys have always been like kinfolk to me, and always had my back, you know, always just been great ambassadors to the game. I think that's the biggest thing. You guys just, I mean, without a doubt, we're the best ambassadors for paintball that have ever been in the game, you know?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it helped a lot that we were so young when we started, that we were kind of influenced by the right people, kind of showing us like how to do it, and not so much the paintball part. I mean, there's a lot of people that help there too, but just like with like Chuck and Rodney, and then with JT getting behind us a bunch, they were like, you know, you guys, I remember one of our first contracts said we couldn't have like another cigarette sponsorship or like alcohol sponsorship or something. And so I think just they kind of helped us like understand that, like, you know, you need to like embrace the people that are there and all the people that enjoy watching you and sign autographs and
Yeah.
don't be an asshole. And
Yes.
I kind of had
there's
all of those last things, but
you're out there smoking cigarettes.
No, I just was. I feel like I could have been nicer, like I just loved all my buddies and all the.
You're there to win, though. That mindset was on point.
Yeah, and that's very true. Like I just wanted. I only cared if, like, I never cared if my picture was taken. I never cared to give interviews. I just wanted, like, my peers and my teammates to like me and just know that I was there to get down,
Yeah.
But now going back, I'm like, I should have been a little nicer,
Ah, dude, no way. You were perfect, man.
I had kids and now I'm a sissy. So now I'm like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have been so mean.
Oh, damn.
That's hilarious.
You guys were on TV quite a bit. What was that like being filmed by those big networks, man?
See, it was sweet. Like when it's going on, you don't really notice anything because there's always kind of, even back then, there was always like camera crews around, but it were like, it was like Brad or it was like Patrick Spohr or like whatever. So that you always see them around. So you're kind of used to seeing them. But then we heard, I think it was in Florida, maybe it was in Miami, where ESPN picked it up and I think like a crew that was doing the baseball, right when they finished the baseball, they jammed down with like all their equipment for baseball. So we had like a full on ESPN crew. And actually, Erin Andrews, I don't know if you guys even remember that. She does a lot of NASCAR. And she's done a bunch of stuff. She interviewed me on ESPN, and that was so cool. And I had so many of my friends, my brother, like all these people. Well, they remember that. They're like, we remember watching you on ESPN when we were in college or when we were in high school or whatever. And so that's really cool.
Rad.
That's like my 15 minutes of fame.
Totally.
Erin Andrews interview.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah, and she's like, nobody even knows who Erin Andrews is, but I remember,
That's now the next bit of fame is going to be you're on the Play the Game podcast.
Boom.
Dude, I'm right here. My phone's already going crazy right now.
Yeah, the PTG Nation is actually extremely excited for this episode.
Are they sweet?
Yeah, we got a coalition of people out there that tune into all these shows, and we appreciate all you out there listening. So we want to obviously get the grassroots. We want to know how you started playing paintball. How did this crazy adventure begin for you?
So I played like, I think back then you had to read like out of the yellow pages. We found, like, you heard about paintball, so in the yellow pages I found a spot. It was Mare Island. So I went out there with one of my buddies. You rented VM68s, froze our ass off, like couldn't get a straight paintball. You're holding the tank in the front that's fully frozen over by 40 degrees out. But it was sweet. It was so much fun, but it was super expensive. So I think I played again after that. I don't know, maybe 6 months later or something. Didn't really play again. And then I think I was in 8th grade or 9th grade maybe. And this guy gave a speech about paintball. And I'm like, oh shit, I've done that before. And he brought like a paintball gun in. He was talking about it. And,
wait, at your school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like an English class. And so then I was talking to him about it, and we became friends. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I played at this place called Venture Games in Concord."
What was his name? Your buddy? Did you guys care? Oh man,
yeah, but we were friends like all throughout high school. But just I'm bad with.
You don't
names.
remember his name? You're friends throughout high school,
dude. It was. I graduated 21 years ago. I haven't
all
seen
those damn autographs you had to sign, man. All those you had to kiss so many babies. I'm terrible with names, dude. I feel so bad about it.
I'm really bad.
Yeah, I really forget his name.
Yeah.
No,
one of the other guys was Doug Telliff. Him and this guy were friends, but it wasn't Doug. But the three of us would go. We played Adventure Games a bunch. It was like our little local field, and it was super expensive. My dad was actually not happy that I was playing paintball because didn't want to go to baseball practice. I didn't want to do these other sports. Yep. And so I got a job. I started working at Round Table so I could like have money to play paintball. Again, like a case of paintballs back then was like $100,
Yeah, crazy.
And then so I wouldn't eat lunch. I'd save my $5 for lunch, and I worked at Round Table so I could play paintball. And eventually I got to know the guys at the paintball field, so I would ref. And if you ref the day, you got a case of paint. So I would ref a day and then play the next day. And then
that was the way to do it. That was the move right there.
Yeah, so then out
Yeah.
there was I think Dave Baines was already reffing out there. So I met Dave. So me, Dave, Glenn Takamoto,
Damn.
Adam Brescia,
Sheesh.
um,
Brescia. Shout out to
I
Brescia
forget.
one time.
Yeah, I
Duffy.
forget. Well, there's two Takamoto brothers actually. Glenn was the one that all the paintball players know, and his
Yeah.
brother stopped playing. But anyway,
Yeah.
so that's where I met those guys, and we started playing together, and we were all the same exact age, and then we just kind of started grinding. But we weren't playing tournaments or anything. We were just beating each other up on the side of this hill. Venture Games is literally all on the side of this hill. It was so much fun. And
What
then we
year
started,
was that? Like right around
God, I don't know. It was like probably like 97, probably
97,
97.
Dope. Wow.
Because at Venture Games, so they wouldn't let you play tournament paintball if you played at Venture Games. So then we would
Ah,
sneak away on a weekend and go to Mare Island just to get like a little feel. And all the guys were there, like, dude, we got to start doing this.
damn.
So they had Great Western Series, the amateur series back then. And so we formed a team, me, Dave, Glenn, Adam Brescia, Brian Farhad, I think, actually. Brian Farhad, he played pretty high up. He ended up getting
Yeah.
like, I don't remember, but pretty high. I don't think he ever played professionally, but he was good. He was a little bit older than us. We
Mhm.
formed the Agent Orange, played the Great Western Series. We would play the tournaments, and we would like travel with one case of paintballs. That was our carry on. And we would get there because it was 200 rounds. So you didn't need that much. Oh,
Yeah.
my little man just busted in.
Yo, bring him on the show.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Don't cry.
How old is he?
And
Oh, poor guy.
he's like 16 months.
Yeah. He's like,
He's-
Dad. And in
Yeah.
his mind, he's like, Dad, you betrayed me.
Yeah,
You know,
he was
like,
running right at me. The door shut. He just barreled into it.
It's the best, man.
Still, having kids is the greatest thing ever. I have
It
my little
is.
Johnny 5. He's my little namesake.
Johnny 5, baby.
Yeah, it's so rad.
Let's go.
When's he gonna start playing paintball?
I'm thinking next year maybe. I'm going to get him
Oh,
on the push-up
perfect.
regimen about 3 months, and he's going to be in there.
Get him a gel blaster, start him off
Yeah,
proper,
exactly.
you know? And
Back
then,
here, I'm just blasting his sister.
dude, the gel blasters are amazing. Once he does get old enough, me and my 4 or 5-year-old, we started playing that, and it's the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
You know
like
what those
these-
are, Johnny?
They're just those. They're like little plastic. Like you have one?
It's a little bit different. It's got like a USB port you charge it with, and then it runs off these
Oh,
little jellies. But yeah,
I've never seen that.
yeah, that's the gel blaster Surge.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
I'm
these
getting
things
one of
are.
those for sure.
Yeah, they're
I'm getting
sick.
2 of them actually for sure.
You and
Yeah,
the wife
it's
can
perfect.
run around and shoot
Yeah.
each other. It's a good time.
She's getting the smoke.
Yeah,
She,
and
I would love to do that.
they're eco-friendly. Like the little gellets are biodiegradable and they're
I can play in
non-toxic.
the backyard.
Yeah,
You
you
can play
can
in your
play
house.
in
It
your
leaves
house,
nothing.
bro. Yeah,
Really?
It leaves nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No way.
it's
Yeah.
pretty rad.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm getting those.
Yeah, man. Starting out,
GWS. Oh yeah. So
Agent
so
Orange.
Agent Orange played the GWS series. It was all mostly on the West Coast. I think the farthest we went was like Oregon. We got second place at every single tournament and won the series. But Brian Duffy, so you used to have to chrono off. I don't know how many of you
Yeah, I
guys
remember.
watching or whatever, and you
Yeah.
guys probably remember. You'd chrono on the field, but then you have to chrono off because people would bring tools and like crank it
Yep.
up or whatever.
It was getting
And
wild.
Brian Duffy's a gun tech for Cap. I don't know if people remember the autocockers they made and all them.
Kick-ass
They had a
paintball
score,
products.
kick-ass paintball products. He was a gun tech there, and he
Yeah.
wasn't ever cheating. Like he's super nice. He would never do anything like that. He chronoed off hot 2 times, and we got second place because of that twice. And out of
Oh,
the 4 events, we got second place 4 times. We still won this series. It was pretty cool. Even in the last
Yeah.
event was at Camp Pendleton. We won. We're hugging and everything, and then beep beep. There's Duffy chroning off, shooting 330 or something. That
Oh
was
my
so bad.
god.
he's the best. I see
Oh, I love
Duffman
Brian
all the
Duffy.
time
Mhm.
at Capital Edge.
Yeah.
Shout out to Capital Edge.
Yeah, shout out
And
to Capital Edge.
man, kick-ass paintball products. That team, Cap Factory, inspired me big time when I was I was probably like 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
And watching those guys, I would go to all the tournaments, the big tournaments, and I would watch all the pros because I'm studying and like trying to learn, you know? So I
Mhm.
would always make sure me and my dad would watch the big games. Those Cap games, man, were life-changing to watch. Like watching them do what they were doing at that time completely changed how I played paintball moving forward, just off of
Yeah.
watching them.
Well, dude, it completely changed paintball, how it moved forward from then on. I mean,
Yeah.
I got on the team the next year after the Cap Factory team. well, actually, I think I played. So that year, actually, I was supposed to. They were going to either take me. I didn't know about it. They told me afterwards, me or Brian Duffy to like Tennessee, and they took Brian Duffy. And then like 3 months later, I got on the team for. Well, we didn't have a team name, but it ended up being Dynasty. But like we went to Mardi Gras and that stuff. So then I played on the team from then on. It was like from 2001, I think, when the team first started. But they didn't even have a team name. But
so what was it like growing up in NorCal, like during that meat grinder era, dude, with all those heavy hitters that were up in NorCal? I mean, you got to play against legitimately the best in the world, at the time. They were all kind of out there. And then with SoCal as well, traveling back and forth.
Yeah, it was sweet. So we kind of transitioned from that Venture Games place to Mare Island because that was where the tournament scene was. And now we were like, that's what we wanted to do, and then Mare Island got shut down. And Eric Crandall started Fairgrounds Paintball, which was in Vallejo. And like that's really where I grinded. We all grinded, especially me and Oliver. We were there. So they did a Friday night deal and then Saturday and Sunday, and I'd be there Friday night, I'd play, and then we'd get done, and then I'd just go meet my friends and party or whatever. And then back up the next morning, Saturday, Sunday, we would grind. And that's how I like got to know Eric Crandall really well. And one Brad used to work there. Brad Mon, he used to work there. And Alex was always there, and Oliver was always there. So Oliver and I were just there the whole time. Half the time there wouldn't, not half, but some of the time nobody else would be there, and it would just be the two of us playing one-on-one. And like, I was pretty good at paintball, I was still definitely learning, and Oliver was like rookie of the year, standout, probably the best, just got on the Ironman, and he would just push my shit in, playing one-on-ones nonstop, and that helped me a lot. I hated it so much. So I can't stand losing anything, but I know that made me so much better at paintball. Just, oh God, he would grind me out. It's horrible.
So talk about like those days where it was just you and him. What would go down out there?
So it was funny that nobody had compressors, so everyone was getting scuba tanks, and I had a scuba tank, but it was a pain getting it filled all the time. So a lot of times we wouldn't have air. So people would bring their own scuba tanks. So like we'd wait for them to go play a game because there was 2 fields there, and then we would just rob some of their air so we could keep playing. And Brandon wouldn't let us play walk-ons. Unless it was like some pretty decent people there. But we always had to split up. And then again, I'm just playing against Oliver essentially because we'll shoot pretty much everyone else. And then, but he would just not shoot people. And then he would just run and bunker me. That's all he wanted to do was bunker me all day long. And oh my God, I used to get so mad. I actually, my temper's not that bad anymore, but I had the worst temper. And but we came pretty close from that. Our birthdays are 1 day apart, so we're almost the exact same age. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Wow.
September 6th and 7th, or 7th and 8th?
8th and 9th.
8th and 9th. Oh, I was in there. I was close.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So
we'd play there a bunch, but everyone would go there. Eric Roberts would go out there. I remember when Eric Roberts. Everyone read magazines back then, so like there was no internet, so everyone was like, dude, you got the new magazine, you're flipping through there, and Eric had like a full page die ad. It was like Eric Roberts, and then Eric Roberts shows up, and it's like, holy shit. And
E-Rob.
But he had the magazine, he was showing everybody, he like made sure to show me, and it's so fun. I love Eric.
That was early Instagram right there. That was it,
that's how you did it too. The APG magazines, and they weren't even good, but not until like Paint and Faceful and these magazines came out where they had like really good magazines. APG was like just a catalog essentially to sell stuff. They didn't really follow. It barely followed like the NPPL, the traveling circuits, and to me that didn't really matter. I just wanted to see the pictures and just see how much money I need to save to get my next paintball part.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
the grind.
Yeah, the Fairgrounds was rad. And Angel and I were really good friends. I used to hang out with Angel all the time.
The ghetto superstar himself.
He doesn't get enough credit just because he was so quiet. You can ask any. I would be surprised if anybody didn't agree with me that played paintball at that time. Angel was the best snake player to ever play paintball, and I don't think there's anyone else even close, in my opinion.
That's huge accolade from you, dude. I mean,
people would absolutely game plan. Ask Rich Telford, these guys that we had to play against all the time.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, everyone wants to shoot Oliver, but they knew that if they could stop Angel from getting in that snake or shoot him off the break, that their chances of winning were so much better. And we had some dirty snakes. The Chicago one, like a lot of these, nobody's even seen a lot of these crazy snakes that we used to play. They were little, or that diamond in Chicago too, that was like a foot off the ground. You had to take your pack off and push it in front of you and crawl around it. I remember Angel and I dove into it together off the break one game and just went to different sides. And,
was this Hyperball that you're talking about?
Hyperball, dude.
Yeah.
Those were gnarly. The fields were so big, and there's all the little cracks, and you had to, you know, like now it's like these bunkers, and you're like learning all the angles, and it's the same thing, except these Hyperball, they have all these cracks.
Dude, guess what they have now? Bounce shots, bro. Yeah, you would love it. So you're in your bunker, and then they ricochet shots off of their other bunkers into you, and that's
Well, Marcelo can probably remember. I used to have to play those pins when I played on the Ironman one year, and every game I'm like, dude, they're bouncing them off this or that, and everyone got so tired of hearing me talk about that, and I'm like, well, fuck you guys, like, don't put me in there. Like, let me play something that's big that I can live in. I'm playing these pins. You know, I'm 6'1". What am I doing playing a pin for?
Yeah. That's not a young T-Harm. That's Johnny Perchak.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably 6'3". How tall are you?
It's like 6'2", in between 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there.
So you feel my pain.
Oh,
those pins were smaller back then too.
They were.
Yeah, they were bigger now.
Yeah,
so there's no chance I'm going in one of those things. I had the dad bod.
Those pins were everywhere. Remember that? They were. They had those pins everywhere, and they would cut down the lanes kind of with all of them.
And that's fine, but you ended up having to kind of play them sometimes because that'd be like the only thing they would put. It'd be like a quick stopping spot, like to get out of the back center.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
They were a nightmare. They were a nightmare. It's like, oh no, you just go there, live for a second, and shoot this and that, and go to the next one. You do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm tired of that. Yeah, it was horrible. Put one of these little guys that go in there. They can just stand up and be underneath it. You know?
Yeah.
I really liked when they had them like leading into the X.
Yeah.
You know, and off the X. Yeah, those are cool because you like go to their side and you could shoot crosses.
Totally.
That was nifty. You could get really crafty with that. But yeah, when they were in the back as one of those insert bunkers on either side, it was garbage.
I don't know how I got stuck going to them. I feel like I went to them all the time. Maybe I only went to them a few times, but they just stick out in my mind because I hated them so much. But yeah, the bounce shots. I do remember that. They are absolutely horrible because trying to convince your teammates that you guys shot with a bounce shot.
It's part of the game now. It's like there's a whole science to it. There's methodology that's incorporated. Like we go to fields now and we have to look at like, all right, where are all the bounce shots? Because we have to use those. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it sucks. No, I mean, honestly, all joking aside though, that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't be able to shoot another spot and then shoot another human being.
I think it's so badass. That's a whole nother layer, dude. You gotta have your angles down. It's like, you know, playing pool or something.
I like barrels. I like barrels and like opponents. You know, I'm kind of with you on this whole thing. I'm with you.
Yeah, me too. Because you're like pumped because you just dove into this spot and you're like super far up. And you're just getting to start to wear some people out. And there's this guy in the back because they call out the orange or the beast or whatever the hell it's called at the time. And they're like, oh, I got it. They just shoot some stupid pin and then you're dead. But nobody even shoots you. They actually shot a pin and you died because of it.
Yeah, you should have protected yourself.
Preach.
With what, a rat? I mean, what do you protect yourself with?
One of them in. Dude, the key.
You got to go under the bunker.
You got to go low.
Under the bunker.
Low. Yeah, that's the key. That's how you avoid the bounce shots. You just go low. Elbow to the flow.
Elbow to the flow.
Yeah. The shots they don't come in. They don't come in down there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well,
that is a hack. It is definitely.
It is. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's cheating.
It's cheating.
Oh man. It's definitely added another layer, which, you know, I take it very seriously because I have to, you know what I mean? Because if I don't, it's going to be used against me and I have to use them against
you won't win a tournament if you don't take bounce shots seriously.
Yeah.
Straight up.
You will not.
And I think you can practice it as much as you want, but when you get to the tournament, it might be almost exactly the same, but it's always going to be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Like at least now you guys, and I don't even know that that's better. I like playing multiple fields because you really had to like do your homework. You'd see people out there, they just like, there was a lot of teams that would just wing it and they'd play like freestyle paintball. And like, that's kind of cool, but none of those teams ever really won a whole lot of tournaments, you know?
I would like to dig into that actually. That's a huge point that you're making there. Can you talk about like what it was like? Because we would walk 6, 7, 8 fields. However, like some of the tournaments were insane. World Cups, you would have a ton of fields to walk.
10 fields out there,
Yeah, so kind of
you'd walk them all, and you never
Yeah.
knew how often, you might not play one, or you might only play one once.
Yeah.
And you still kind of spent the same amount of time on every field. And then, but you probably would only end up playing a handful of them. So you literally would spend absolutely all day out there,
Yeah.
walking fields, trying multiple game plans so that you figure out who you're playing, how they play. Like, the fields were so big that you just had to decide, like, if it was a team that was going to try to run down your throat or not,
Yeah.
But yeah, the fields were crazy. Like, you had to walk fields, and not a lot of teams put a ton of time and effort into it. I mean, some did, but not all of them. And there was no team that spent more time on the fields than we did. No chance. And I mean, I think that for sure helped.
100%.
Yeah, makes a big difference. Even now, even though we get to practice the fields, we get them weeks early. We've talked about this before, but the more time that I spend on the field, like even throughout the event, after a match, in between matches, at lunchtime, the more time that I spend continuously going over the stuff that I may think I already know, or, it helps tremendously. It just makes everything that much quicker. All of your decisions, all of your shots, everything is so
I
much
think
better.
people make like a bad decision to like only walk the spots that they're playing. And it's just because you're lazy, to be honest. Because if you, not only maybe you're backtracking, and you might end up playing that spot, or someone gets hurt and you have to play it, that's the obvious thing. But you want to be able to see what the other people are shooting at when you're playing your spot. You don't want to just look at your shots. You want to look at like blind shots and all the different little, if they know you make it to a spot, the next spot where they're just going to hold that lane, you want to know like how big that spot is, or if you got to go low under it, or maybe jump over it, or
of course,
like you really need to know like all the shots, you really do. And
Straight
it helps
up.
so much to be able to learn all that stuff when it's only one field, opposed to like a bunch. You have to wing it when you're looking at 10 fields. You can't know all the shots. But
Yeah.
nowadays, when you play one field, like, you need to know the field top to bottom, all the spots. But
Totally.
I remember so many times, like, I'd end up, like, I didn't play the snake that much, but I might have played that corner, so I'd be in the snake, or maybe the snake's doing fine and we lose the other side. Next thing you know, I find myself on the other side of the field and I'm going down the Doritos.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't look at those Doritos, I'd just be winging it, trying to get in there. And if you're playing a good team, they know what they're supposed to be doing, and you're trying to figure it out on the fly.
During those dynasty days, you would for sure be looking at all the bunkers when you were out there, right? You didn't just go and look at like one side of the field or your spot. You're looking at everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, a lot of teams would have like a guy. They would play like, if they were right-handed or left-handed, they'd play one side or the other. But we were pretty good with both hands, so we would kind of stick to a side that we would play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would always, every single time I would watch, because especially being on one of the tapes, the shots are so far that once you get into those spots, like, either sometimes those people don't know you're there yet, or they kind of forget about you, or vice versa. So you need to know just kind of what you have in front of you. Like, I can't crawl past this brick because I'm going to get shot by this temple that's right there. Or it's like, crawl past this brick, I can shoot that temple, or he can shoot me. Or you just need to know, you really need to know both sides of the field, because you never know what spot you're going to get into,
That's right. We talk about that all the time on the show. It's like, you're not a snake player. You're not a Dorito player. You're whatever the hell the moment decides for you to be.
You're
when
a paintball player.
Yeah. When the situation breaks open and you got to be a paintball player, we need you to be able to navigate every aspect of the field. You know what I mean? And do it hopefully comfortably and with a dominance to where we can win those points too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It helps a lot with,
ahead,
communication and teamwork too. If I know all the shots and I see the bad guys get into a certain position, I know which of my teammates are, at risk, and they're the first persons I'm going to tell and make sure they know, what's going on, so they can either move or tuck in, whatever it might be. It helps.
Dude, especially that role you play, where you're like, I think, what was I in Vegas? It's when I went out and was watching you guys and helping out. I had so much fun. But, we were just talking a bunch, like, just all the stuff that you already knew, but just reminding, trying to have you tell the other guys too, like, before your face is in the dirt and you're crawling and grinding, trying to get kills, like, just because you're a front guy, if you're not in the shit yet, talk. You have to be communicating, And I was trying to get you to tell, pass it along to like Mikey and these guys that are super good and just, learning every time they go out and play. Like, while you're on your knees or while you're still up, like just say as much as you can say, everything you can see. Now, once you're crawling on a snake, I get it. You're not saying really a whole lot, but while you're up there on your feet or your knees, you're screaming. So yeah, like you were just saying, March, like if you know all those different shots and all the different spots, like you can kind of coach people once they get into spots. Like maybe they didn't see the guy get into the whatever spot that is over there, and that he'll shoot that guy. So you can tell him like, tuck in. But if you didn't do your job walking the field, you're not going to know that stuff,
100%.
Yeah.
You got to quarterback it. You were one of the best quarterbacks in the game. You played the back. You did all these things.
I could just yell really loud.
But that's what paintball needs. You got to have a couple dudes on the squad that can get loud, because the information has to travel and everybody has to be connected. So that's pretty much what the best teams in the world do, is they have that capability,
For sure. Yeah, I was like finishing games. That was like my favorite. Once it kind of like the smoke cleared and you were like needed to try to like grind the last couple guys out or whatever, doing that was my absolute favorite thing to do. And going through the middle is like the best, in my opinion, one of the best ways to do it usually. And that's why I like watching A-Rod play paintball so much, because I think he does that going through the middle nowadays better than anybody. He's
got it down to a science,
dude. He's one of my favorite guys to watch. Like he goes through the middle so well, and you're just shooting barrels and loaders and toes, and like, it's not as fun as going up and bunkering someone in the back of the head, but it gets the job done.
It kind of is, though. I mean, because you're finding a seam, and you're right. He does that really well. He does a really good job of assessing where everyone is and which way people are looking, and he finds that gap and just goes for it. But, to be honest, early in it's just been consistency and dedication to getting those welts and learning, because early in his career, it was, much lower percentage on those plays he'd be going through. And a lot of the times it wouldn't work, but he just continues to do that. And now, I mean, I agree. He's probably the best in the league at it.
Yeah. I don't see it live a whole lot anymore, but I watch every tournament. I don't watch every team. There's only a handful of teams I'll watch, but, yeah, he does it really well. I mean, you have a guy past the 50 or in the 50 on either side, and all the focus is on them. And if you just creep into the middle, I mean, all you see is loader tips and barrel tips and elbows, and they're just free. They're not even shooting at you, Yeah, it's like free. The best way to get kills. It's easy. You know what I mean? You can't get shot.
And
not even shooting at you.
That's all off the awareness right there, That's passing the ball around and getting the connection and knowing exactly what you got to shoot at when you get there too.
For sure.
It's a skill all on its own, and it doesn't happen overnight. Like A-Rod, when he first started out, was not the best center, but he, like Marcelo said, took his lumps and just kept trying. He's one of the most relentless dudes I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I call him the bully.
Quiet.
I call him the bully. He'll bully you around out on that paintball field too if you're not careful.
That. Yeah. Yeah. I've probably I've probably talked to A-Rod 10 times, and there's been like 9 words spoken the whole time. It's like hi, or like like, how you doing, or like that might have been the longest conversation I had with him. Like, he's just so quiet.
Yeah, he's a rock star, dude. Honestly, A-Rod, he's such a good dude. He's grown tremendously in the game of paintball as a player and a person, and I'm excited to see him keep kicking ass out there. He's doing good.
Yeah, there's so many guys that are so good nowadays. Like everybody just seems like they're just very, very good at paintball. There's not too many people out there where I'm watching where I'm like, man, that guy just sucks. Where that kind of there used to be guys on teams where you're like, hey, he's just not very good. And it's just not like that anymore. Some of these teams I don't really know, to be honest with you. And that might still be the case, but like the main teams that I watch, I mean, these guys are pretty good.
Yeah, the top of the pyramid has definitely stacked up quite a bit.
What is there, like 5 or 6 teams that could win every tournament?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool because, like back in the day, or at least when I played, it wasn't so much like that.
It was like 3 or 4. I feel like
exactly. Yeah, and I mean, you could lose a game, and there'd be some maybe like, oh my god, they didn't make the quarterfinals or the semifinals, and it was crazy, but that wouldn't happen that often. It was always kind of the same, like these 3 or 4 teams in it,
But they were battles, man. Go back and watch those videos of early 2000, NPPL days and the early NXL is crazy.
I watch some old, I watch a lot of YouTube, but there'll be some like the old, like these YouTube videos. I feel like if you only watch YouTube and didn't know anything about paintball, you think Dynasty was like a lower tier team. They only show games that we lose. I don't remember any games watching on YouTube that we won. Like we don't ever win any tournaments. They only show the ones we lose.
Really? That was all they had. They were like,
one.
"Get this video. We need this video."
It's like us losing to Strange and like us losing to some other Naughty Dogs. I think we lost to Naughty Dogs once ever in the history of paintball. You know,
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. You know, and like Strange, they beat us in World Cup. I think one year. That's on YouTube. I had to watch that. I was like, it was like 3 a.m. I was so pissed watching this video. I couldn't remember if we won or lost. I assumed we won, and then they're like, "What? This is the one they put on here, the one we lose?"
Oh damn!
Yeah,
they got him. Got him.
Lonely at the top, man.
Yeah. Against the Ironman one time we lost. I literally can't tell you one that I think we won that I watched.
Cassidy Sanders and HK have a video of Dynasty winning 2015 World Cup.
Yeah,
pretty badass. Yeah. Have you seen
that
video?
I watched it live.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the video?
I watched it live on my computer screen.
Dude, Johnny, if you haven't, it's one of the coolest paintball. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased.
But he has at some point.
You had to have seen it.
Is it like a short clip or is it like
it's from
movie?
HK?
It's like a movie. It's like a 6-minute.
Oh, 6 minutes. Okay, yeah. I probably have seen that then.
For sure.
It's some of Cassidy's finest work. It is so well done. And for paintball, it's just like, that's the one video that I show, any stranger that I'm telling about paintball, because aside from it being us, it's just such an epic production of the match, of the finals, of, the crowd, the energy. It's insane. It's so good.
Cassidy's always made HK always makes some good videos. All those guys.
Dude, they're on the moon right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching that tournament. I was watching it live. I was at a softball tournament in like Colorado, I think. And
Meat Hammers?
Meat Hammers, yeah. And so all my buddies, they knew I played paintball. And so I was like, they were like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, it's World Cup's going on. My boys are playing." And so we were watching throughout the weekend. And then the finals were there. And I was like all pumped because the finals were on. And I had like 12 guys wrapped around my iPad watching the finals of that. And we were all cheering. Like, they don't know any of you guys, but they wanted you guys to win because it was my old team. And we watched the whole thing.
Dude, that's amazing.
Spica hit the buzzer at the last second, right? That's 2015, right?
He saved the buzzer from being hit. So we were up a point, and he was trying to, and he shot Chad George and Greg Sewers coming through trying to hit the buzzer.
Got you. Yeah.
It was epic.
I remember that.
That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was my first World Cup win. That was
it? Damn. Yeah.
That was the first one.
And you have 2 now.
Yep. Got 2 now.
There we go.
Yes, we got one together, Johnny.
We did get one together. Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
That was a really good one.
We'll have to dive into that, the Ironman era.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite paintball years.
Let's
kind of surprisingly, because what's that, buddy?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just surprisingly because I like bleed blue.
Yeah.
This is my team. They're all my best friends. But then that one year I played on the Ironman.
That was crazy. That was a special one for sure.
Well, like Mike Paxton's one of my best buddies. Or like, and I don't see him that much anymore, but we still text like once a week, probably.
That team was rowdy.
And then Oliver, who's been one of my really good friends forever, and Nikki Cuba and March, and then Scott Kemp, who I didn't know much at the time, but now we're like pretty good buddies too. So like that whole team, we just ended up becoming pretty good boys. The Sewers, who I knew a little bit before, but not that much. Who do we have? Miko, Billy Wing.
Yeah, that was his first pro year. He was pretty fresh on the scene.
Yeah.
Billy Wing, Brandon Short.
Oh, Brandon.
Shorty.
Short. What? How did I forget that?
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
I used to piss on Brandon Short before every tournament.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You can't be serious, dude.
So it was the joke. I piss excellence, right? So I had to piss on him. And it worked, dude. We were running through it.
It worked.
We do not condone these activities.
No, I mean, if you piss excellence.
Unless you piss excellence, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
Ask him about it.
Just a little on the toe or what? How did he get it?
All over the leg, the pants, whatever it was. It's no big deal. So one time he was
that is some legendary stuff right there.
Dude, I had these towels, and like it bothered me so much. People wouldn't bring a towel to the paintball field. Like, why? Of course you need a towel at a paintball field. You're like, nobody would bring towels. So I'd have a towel, so people would steal my towels, and it used to piss me off so bad. I
kind of remember this, actually, I think.
Yeah, and March has to remember
this.
So he stole my towel, and then I was looking for it, couldn't find it or whatever. And we had like the vans leaving And I don't remember if it was practice or a tournament or not. And he pulled up beside me and he was like waving the towel around. I got your towel. I got your towel. And I'm like, and it pissed me off. I was like, okay. So when next we get to the field, he's not paying attention. I filled his goggles up with piss. I pissed in them everywhere, all over the whole deal. That's how it actually started, right? So this was like early on in the year.
Oh, man.
And then so he wore them, didn't know anything about it. But he's a pretty dirty guy anyway. Like,
he wore them and didn't know anything about it. What do you mean?
So we win the tournament. I
Hold
tell
on,
him about it. I tell him.
How does he not know, dude?
Didn't know.
Oh my God.
What event was this, Johnny?
Dude, I don't remember. They all blend together. It was early on. It was like maybe middle of the year, kind of early on, because I peed on him for like the whole year. We'd be getting ready to play, and he's like, "Yo, you gotta go, you gotta go." Like it was a thing. Like he had to have me, and so I would just like pee on his pants. It was no big deal.
Dude.
But I pissed in his goggles and we win the tournament. And he's like, and he was pissed. And then he was like, that was like, yeah, piss excellence. It was like the joke. And then he's like, well, you got to pee on me before every tournament now on, you know?
Oh my God. You guys are wild. You guys
there's like a statute of limitations on this.
Yeah. Well, ask him about it. He'll tell you.
That's funny. Johnny, what were you on the team in 07 or 08?
08.
Oh, wait, that's what I thought. And I feel like we didn't win. Actually, I'm pretty positive we didn't win an event that year until Kansas City, like towards the end of the year. And then we won World Cup.
But we won Jackson. We won Jacksonville.
No.
Yeah,
Aftermath beat us in the finals in Jacksonville.
What was that one?
Kansas City. It was that indoor one, and then we finished it in San Diego, right?
That was I didn't play that year. The indoor one I played with Dynasty.
Buffalo. Then it was Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah. 100%. Buffalo in World Cup, and I think we got a bunch of second places, whatever.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. So Jacksonville was 07. I swear that was 08. But yeah, maybe not.
Jacksonville.
No, it was 08. We got second in Jacksonville in 08 to Aftermath because that was when Mouse wasn't on our team. He was on the team in 07.
Yeah, I remember that one ref in the finals pulled a penalty on me, and it was like he pulled 3 guys or something, 2 guys.
Yeah, it was because Scott had spikes in his cleats.
And then apologized to me like later on and was like, "Oh my God, like I just I want to apologize and this and that. I thought you were hit, but I guess you weren't even hit." And then it was in the finals. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Oh damn.
Okay, so this wasn't Jacksonville then, was it?
No, it sounds
we played Aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is so funny because we had Mouse on the show and we were talking about this. Are you sure? Because in that finals match, a ref pulled a major on Scott Kemp on the Dorito side for having spikes in his cleats, and he pulled me, Scott Kemp, and I thought you or
that might have been what it was.
I think that's what it is. Yeah,
because that night he bought a whole round of drinks for us to apologize.
100%. That was it.
Dude, what a guy.
Dude, I love that you brought that up because when I brought it up to Mouse, he's like, no, that's not what happened. You guys didn't get a penalty like that. I was like, dude, I swear. I'm not making excuses. Yeah. It was deserved, but it was also kind of lame.
I remember now when the guy pulled me, he was like, oh, yeah, you're hit. But he wasn't sure because somebody else pointed and was telling him to pull me. So he assumed that I was hit. And I'm like, I'm not hit. So I was losing my mind. And then that's what happened. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
in the finals, dude,
in the
I can only
finals,
imagine Johnny in the finals getting pulled out and they're saying he's hit and he's like, I'm not hit. What are you talking about?
Dude, I was so mad. And like the game had just started too.
It was for sure the spikes.
Yeah.
It was the spikes, 100%. Yeah, I remember this clear as day.
It was like 30 seconds into the game or 20 seconds into the game. Yeah. Oh, that was a bummer. That's right. Yeah. That was the first one the Aftermath won, right? So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's our first pro win.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Moose one time. I was in the stands watching this event go down live, and there was a huge storm that rolled through after.
Yeah.
A crazy storm. After
we actually stayed down there and went to another event, right? March?
That was that year, huh? Oh, yeah. So we came from North Carolina. We went to Myrtle Beach. Remember that?
No. We went to
yeah, it was MAO.
No, what's that? Like the farthest point of Florida, the Keys. Remember we went down to the Keys?
That I wasn't with you guys on that trip. So
why not?
On the Ironman, the whole like squad went down.
Yeah, so we had like a week break in another tournament. So we just went to the Keys and stayed at this like pretty sweet hotel. We all rented mopeds, so we all got our own rooms and mopeds, and we just cruised around. It was so much fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking that's weird. Yeah, how was I not there?
Where were you, Martian? Dude,
I
this
don't
guy
know.
has a timeline like an alien over
Oh,
here. He like remembers everything from every moment of paintball history.
Mine's
Most
so
of the time,
bad.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever you said, Marsh.
You sure we didn't go to Myrtle Beach? I swear we went to Myrtle Beach.
No,
He's
we might have
probably
gone. We
right.
might have gone to Myrtle Beach, but we did go to the Florida Keys. It might have been on the
Huh.
same trip because we did have that trip on the beach. I honestly don't remember what beach it was, but
Did we go fishing with Paxton on the dock?
I don't know.
Dude, that's
Dude,
specific.
it is for sure.
It's the
Yeah,
same.
I'm pretty
It's
sure.
the same one, but so
Okay.
we went to both. That
Yeah.
was the trip. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think we were probably
Okay.
we went from like the Keys to Myrtle Beach or Myrtle Beach to
Yeah.
the Keys.
Okay.
But we were down there for like a week just hanging out in between paintball tournaments.
You remember? Does this ring a bell? There's like a nightclub we went to called Spanish Galleon or something like that.
Ooh, that does ring a bell.
Yeah,
Was
in
that in
Myrtle
Myrtle
Beach.
Beach? Oh,
It
yeah, it
was
was huge,
Yeah,
though.
it was huge, dude. It was
Oh, my
super
God,
cool.
I
And I
do remember
remember,
that.
I obviously wasn't old enough to be in there, but you guys always snuck me into all the cool places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we were letting it
Yeah,
rip in there. I
that's
remember
it.
that now.
Yep.
That's right.
Nice.
Shout out to
Okay.
Yeah,
Myrtle
you
Beach
probably
one
weren't
time.
old enough. How old was
No.
I? I was probably
Dude, I was 17, 18.
so I was
Repping
probably
it.
I was like 25 maybe.
You were a wild kid at that age, though. Don't get it mixed
Oh,
up.
I was grown. Yeah, I was grown.
You thought you were
100%.
gonna shave my eyebrows after World Cup?
Yeah. What's crazy is that you were 25 at that time, dude, because I think
know.
about 25 is super young to me now, but
Yeah.
back then I'm like, these are some grown ass men, like they got life all figured out. They are
They were
grown.
kids too.
You were kids.
Yeah.
You guys were
Dude, I
kids
know.
trying to act like
25.
adults.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was the
well,
mustaches.
it was like 12 years. 38, so 13
Damn.
years ago.
Yep.
That's a lifetime ago. Like that's really a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
I want to dig back in where we left off with like coming into Dynasty and how that all transpired and kind of walk through those years. Some pretty big years that you guys had there. So just
we had. I
breeze
think
through
we
that.
went to like Mardi Gras. They used to do Mardi Gras, which I wish they would bring back for you guys because
That
I don't
one
know
was
if you guys have been
crazy.
to Mardi Gras before, but it's so they do.
Mm-mm.
It's a 5-man tournament. Honestly, there's like you walk fields, but it's not like a big thing. It's like a warm up. You're just out there having fun with your boys, hanging out. Mardi Gras is crazy. They do these 5-man tournaments, super fun. So we did that to start the year off, like they always did. But we put in a pro team and an amateur team because we weren't pro yet. We hadn't played a pro event. And I played on the amateur team. I don't even remember who was on my team. I think BC might have been. But anyway, we got second. We lost to the Naughty Dogs. And if you win jet skis. And we lost to the Naughty Dogs in the finals.
Yeah.
And then
Is this one on YouTube?
it probably look it up. I probably got shot off the break. It was horrible.
Yeah, let's see actually.
And
Dude, I played for the Naughty Dogs for a little bit.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We played for a lot of good teams.
Yeah, they're tight.
Yeah, so then we had that year. So the first event was the LA Open, and like I had just got on the team. I knew everyone pretty well, not so much the SoCal guys, but I was like the 11th guy, So I would play like, not that much. Well, Opie gets hurt, and then I was in there, and I had a great tournament, and it was just like, all right, you're up, and then
Hell yeah.
and
Seize
then,
the moment.
then I played from. I got lucky that Opie got hurt because then I played from pretty much then on almost every game,
Well, I want to talk about that really quick, actually, because that's really valuable. And kind of a similar thing happened to me with Ironman. When I first got on the team in 2006, I was 16, didn't play a bunch in Chicago. But then we had some players leave mid-season. And so I started to get more playtime at the World Cup. We were like super depleted and I played really good, And so from that time on, the team trusted me. But that's exactly like we're talking about walking fields. You never know if somebody gets hurt, you have to go and play another spot.
Yeah.
Even more so if you're not a starter or if you might not be somebody who gets reps on your team, but a situation could happen to where the team needs you to play every point.
Yeah.
And so if you have the mindset of, I don't need to take this that serious because I'm not even playing, or maybe I'm going to have a couple more beers tonight, or I'm not going to walk the field as much as I should. Then when you do get that chance, it's going to be your last chance. So like, what were you doing to stay focused and to make sure that, when your number was called, you were ready to perform? Is that like a thought?
I mean, honestly, like I love paintball so much. It's all I ever thought about anyway, So like I'm in the house walking around with an autococker in my hand and like, that's all I thought about. I lived, breathed, dreamed paintball. So I was just super pumped for the idea to be able to play. But I loved it so much, like I wanted to play. I was freaking out not being able to play. But yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I think I don't remember the first game, but it's the Pro Division, so you're playing. Actually, back then you'd play like in the prelims, you'd play like 2 other pro teams, but then you'd play like an amateur A team and like a bunch of amateur A teams and B teams. But then you'd get like your 2 pro teams you play or whatever. But yeah, I was a front guy back then, so it was just like, all right, send Johnny to that, and I would just go to the farthest spots possible and just dig out there and make it in there and just stay alive and then try to shoot people. And
this is 10-man, right?
10-man, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was it worked. I played pretty well, especially for my first time. And we I don't remember we like made the finals, I think, in that tournament, but we didn't win. But I remember we beat Aftershock. We had to play like in the finals. We had to play like Rage, Aftershock, and somebody else. And it was like, fuck, I have to play Aftershock. Holy shit! And so like I just dove. I was always going to the farthest spots on these like, hyperball fields, and just dove in them and try to stay alive and grind it out. And I think we beat Rage and Aftershock. And at the end we beat Image, I think.
Damn.
Like we beat all these like really good teams.
Well, at the time, those are the ones right there.
It was crazy. I don't think Image had a very good event, but the other teams did pretty well. And then I just pretty much played almost every game from then on.
Talk about the fields too, for the listeners who don't understand how big these 10-man fields were. You know, people are getting into it a little bit more these days, which is awesome. 10-man's on the rise.
Right. It's so much fun.
It is.
So like so the woods ball fields were obviously like massive, but the hyperball fields and the airball fields, especially the ones at World Cup, but like you couldn't shoot from one side to the other. They're too big. So like the guys in the back were only. Sorry, my daughter just walked in. Here, baby, I'm doing a show. You want to come say hi?
Yep. Come on down to PTG.
Look, this is my daughter.
Oh, hi, sweetheart.
Hello.
Just saying hi to you.
Shout out to all the listeners. You guys can head over to the YouTube. Say hi to Johnny's daughter.
Okay. Can you shut the door for me, please? Thank you.
Love that.
How old is she?
She's 4.5. Yesterday,
awesome.
She was 4.5.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, she thought it was her birthday too,
Kobe.
actually.
Wow. Kobe's birthday.
Oh, 24?
Yeah.
Like what Kobe? Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you mean what Kobe? What other Kobe? You talking like Kobe beef?
I didn't know if there was like
Steakhouse?
I didn't know if there was like a paintball Kobe or something. What the hell is this guy?
There's only one Kobe.
There's only one Kobe.
Dude, there is a Kobe paintball player that I just had at one of my clinics, and I was like, "Ooh, you got some big shoes to fill, kid."
That's his first
He's
name?
balling out though. Yeah, it's his first name, Kobe. Like,
if you have Kobe as your first name, you're just gonna ball out in life. Pretty much.
Yeah, you got it.
Your parents did it on purpose, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, those fields they're huge.
Amazing,
you couldn't
man.
shoot from one side to the other. So like the back guys are only shooting like at the 50-yard line, you know, both sides. Like you literally couldn't shoot from one side to the other. So you're only shooting halfway across the field. So like, you know, you had to, once you were winning the game, everyone had to progressively like keep going because you'd be doing nothing. You couldn't shoot at anybody that your friends are shooting at, you know, if you weren't keep there, they were massive.
Yeah. The airball fields, I'll never forget. My first
even bigger.
World Cup that I ever went to was the one where Psalm was shooting from the forest out there.
Oh, that was your first one?
That was my first one ever, yeah.
Oh.
So I got to see and hear I was ripping around on a golf cart at like 13 years old, just getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out there whipping them.
Dude, that was so
what a crazy
wild.
first World Cup. I was there.
I think I was watching that game, but I didn't think anything was really fishy at all. You had no idea. You're just kind of half-ass paying attention. And Mr. Yu just sets his gun down and just bolts into the woods. And you're like, that's very strange. Why would somebody do that? You know? And he was chasing Jeremy around back there. That's such a weird deal. Like I never asked Jeremy about that or whatever. People probably know. Like I've heard Mr. Yu's side of the story or whatever, but like
I heard he's releasing, or he already has released, like a documentary on it.
Really?
Yeah. I think it did go out. It's already.
Did it go out? Man,
so.
I've gotta watch it.
Dude, what was so one of the weird? Well, there was a lot of weird things about that, but So Avalanche is like, they're like the rock star top best team.
Yeah.
Like, they lose sometimes, but they're really good. They have all like the best players on their team.
Mhm.
And they're playing Ground Zero. Like Ground Zero had like 3 teams. They're playing like not even their like flagship team. I don't think they're playing like their second team.
That's
they're
right.
a pro team and they're pretty
Yeah.
good. But like why do it against those guys? Like you're going to beat that team,
Mhm.
And like I guess he went and got one of those Matrix back. Well,
Oh yeah,
they like
those are
just come
quiet.
out, so they're like kind of quiet.
Yeah.
So like he had it totally planned out, and like maybe he was just testing it out to see if he could do it later on and when a game mattered. But like, why do it in that game? Like,
yeah,
they're gonna beat Ground Zero. Like Avalanche was shit back then,
Yeah, that was
so weird.
crazy. So for everybody who doesn't know, this was in like 2003, I think, right?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. I think you might be right. It was somewhere right in there, and it was a big 10-man match coming down to the end of the tournament pretty much, and moving into the next round. And then one of the players was out in the woods, shooting other players on the field. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, he hid in the woods and was like plinking out players from the opposing team.
Yeah,
and he like didn't play that game.
Yeah.
And
he was playing. He was playing.
No, he had the most kills that game
for sure.
But like that was like the sad part about that is that was the demise of Avalanche. Like they were done.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and Avalanche was like the rock stars of paintball.
I know, man.
Yeah, I remember Roque Cagnoni. I'll never forget it. Was crying.
Yeah,
he was literally crying, and he's like, I had no idea. Like I did not know. I had no idea, and he was crying because they just got kicked out of the tournament.
Paintball was big in that moment too. Like for that to happen to them in that moment was like world news for paintball.
Yeah,
it was a huge scandal.
Yeah,
I remember when that happened. I was like, those guys are never playing paintball again. They're exiled. Like it just seemed so bad at the time. Now we look back and kind of laugh on it, but
because like people, if you think about it, people used to shoot from the dead box.
Yeah,
when they like so stupid, they let you like bring your gun into the dead box. Like, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a pretty similar thing, but to do what he did, like I think he had like full camouflage on, got a Matrix, which isn't even a gun that they have, snuck into the woods and was like plinking guys out. Like, it was just so crazy.
I was actually in Modesto with Rich Telford, which is kind of where the Matrix kind of developed out of with the Ironman. They were shooting them, and that kind of became their gun. But that gun was quiet, the Matrix.
Yeah, very. Yeah, they either were good or they weren't. Isn't that the platform that the dye gun ended up being on?
Yeah, it all developed right out of that, which is crazy because I remember the very first days of D-Wiz, that was his name. D-Wiz and Rich would always be working on the Matrix out there and like tuning it in.
Yeah.
D-Wiz, huh?
They either worked or they didn't.
I love nicknames. Nicknames are like the most fun, creative thing.
Yeah, right? D-Wiz, like they're the great. Wizard, Yeah.
He's the Wiz. D-Wiz.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
Yeah. But the guns have come a long way, and the paintball fields too, which is what we were talking about, is like the field sizes of those airball fields at World Cup were staggering. It was like when I showed up for my first tournament at 12 years old, that was my first World Cup. I was like, this is like a amusement park for paintball is what it felt like.
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. And like I remember, so JT used to have those
the pyramid.
Yeah, the little, I'm talking about those little like tent things. So like all like the factory JT teams would have like their own little tent they would set up. And if you weren't, then you were like shit out of luck and you just have to find your own way. But I remember like, man, those dudes are so cool. They're in one of the JT tents, Yeah. And so they had they were everything back then, There wasn't, I wasn't even a thing really yet.
That's right.
I think they made barrels, right?
Yeah.
And that was it. And so JT was like literally everything until Angel came around. And there's never been another company to do it like Angel did at these paintball tournaments.
No way, dude. I remember the sandy beaches, Heaven.
Dude, Heaven.
Yeah.
But they did them in Europe too.
Yeah. Those ones were wild. That's next
Tell
level.
us some stories from Heaven.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, this is a PG-13 podcast. Yeah. And we can't talk about Heaven in Europe. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Sometimes those WDP guys were bananas.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. There was hot tubs on the grass. They had hot tubs everywhere. They brought palm trees in. They trekked sand in. Yep. You thought you were on a beach. There's girls everywhere. There's drinks and food, and like these other trucks would have like companies would have like a truck with like 3 of their little, things that are for sale out front, and like 4 t-shirts, and Angels got,
Yeah.
fireworks going off and hot tubs, and like it was just
crazy.
a completely another level.
Yeah, we had to talk to the
Europe,
guys.
they were even better because that was their spot.
Yep.
The one in England, they did a Heaven in England that was
Next level.
Yeah, you can't even talk about it. It was unbelievable. It'll blow your mind. It was so crazy.
I've heard some of the stories, man. They definitely did it right. Even when I was young, like I would sneak over to Heaven and be like hanging out over there. I was like, dang, this is where the big kids are at, like this is crazy. This is a whole nother world.
That was like truly rock star status.
Yeah.
100%. We need to talk to the guys over at Field One and get them to recreate that, at one of these events with the Field One booth.
Yeah, I think they need to. They probably need to sell a few more guns, and then they can do that. I think at that point,
HK, we could definitely, HK could set up
HK
some
could probably do it for sure. At that point, WDP
HK's ready for
everybody that played paintball had an Angel, so
yeah,
I think they were making a ton of money back then. They spent it like they were making it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I had an ice blue Angel. That was probably my favorite gun of all time. I actually have a picture of it in my room here, so I'll snap one of those for the listeners. But that Angel, dude, would at the time when they came out was just humming on. There was no competition. If you had one, you were definitely sending out more shots.
Yeah, but everyone was still kind of like on the autococker thing. Like, no, my autococker shoots way straighter, and it's like, all right, well, let's play and see how that works out. It's just the Angel, like the firepower was just so much more. Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. They dominated once they came out.
You guys even drilled holes in your Angels and put your own eyes into them, right?
Did it. Yeah. This guy from, I think he was from Sweden or like Denmark. Finland. There we go. Yeah, Eggy. He ended up working at Dye, I think.
Yeah, he did. He worked at Dye. He helped design a lot of the loaders today. Eggy has his hands in a lot of the different paintball products. He's a genius. An absolute genius.
So he had it, and Skinny Kevin saw it first and was like, we need these eyes, because we were just shredding paintballs,
Yeah.
And we sent all our guns, and they're drilled holes in them. We were like, what? We're going to drill holes in our guns? Like, especially back then, like you had one paintball gun, you know, then it was your girl. Like you cleaned it, and everything was super nice. And you didn't.
I thought you guys had new guns for every match.
This is early.
This is early on when we had egg guys.
I mean, you guys had Heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's for that. They did Heaven for Aftershock. I mean, for Avalanche, they barely did us in the beginning. We had to sneak in.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But we had. I think Skinny Kevin met him or something. I don't remember how it was. But yeah, I mean that absolutely changed how good our paintball guns were, because I think at that point, like the Intimidators were coming out, and there's other guns coming out that like had eyes. Yeah. And Angel, for some reason, was always completely against it. They tried to put the chop system, cops,
that's
or
right.
It was,
yeah.
And they never would just put eyes. Like, oh, look, now we have eyes, but they're these different kind of eyes, and they sucked. And so we were like, we're making our own eyes. Eggy's doing it. He put them in, and then our guns were absolutely amazing. Oh, now the little man just busted in.
There we
buddy
go.
Boy.
On the show. We got the whole squad on
Come
the
here,
show.
buddy.
This is the best.
He's running away. I think he just got it back.
Camera shy.
That's what they do. Once you try to pick him up, they're like,
no, he's out. He's coming back.
Yeah.
Come here.
Come on back.
All right, now you can see
you got him.
Johnny 5.
We hooked him.
This is little Johnny 5.
Hey.
He's got a bath. Check him out.
Got a mohawk. Looking
what
good,
up,
buddy.
You say hi?
Little Johnny 5.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's smiling.
Nice.
Check him out on the YouTube, everybody. This is little Johnny. Man, there he is. He's going to be running around with the gel blaster here soon.
He's getting ready. Yeah, we'll get him a gel blaster. I think he's getting ready to go to sleep, actually.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit late. Dude, thank you so much for your time as well, dude. I know you're a family man. You got 2 kids,
no worries.
Wife, and working hard, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad to get on here and talk to you guys. It's fun.
Dude, this is what it's all about, and the culture appreciates it, because these stories, they could be lost to time, but with database and all that kind of stuff, and they really do matter, and that's why all the OGs, you guys laid the groundwork for us to come and be able to play this game and keep pushing it forward. So that's really our whole motivation behind this whole thing is you guys.
Yeah, well, I love it. I'm gonna have to start watching some more of these podcasts now.
Dude, we got 100. We got 100 of them on there.
It's gonna take me a while to catch up to 100, but
yeah.
They've been fun, man. There's a lot of really good conversations. Yeah, dude. There's
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we get off of a 3-hour show and we call each other and talk for another hour about how awesome the 3 hours was. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun.
It is, man.
Talking about the this guy's gonna take a digger. Babe, can you grab him for me?
He's live action.
Oh, he almost took the computer down. Yeah, he's nonstop.
This is live action. This is the real deal.
Let me just shut this door real fast.
Oh, you're good, brother. Dude, that's epic. We got little Johnny 5 on the show.
Yeah, it's super funny, man.
He's for sure going to play paintball moving forward. Johnny's going to get him out there.
Yeah, has to, right? Him, we'll have Theo, Max, you know, your two boys.
We'll have a squadron.
Form a squad. Yeah.
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 I know. I'm actually looking forward to, being able to play. Oh, you're good, brother. Being able to play with my kid when he gets a little bit older. He's still kind of young now, but I can't wait for that day where, we can go play some 68 cal. We'll probably just keep playing Gel Blaster and then get him into the 50 cal or something, but we'll keep moving up.
I never heard of that Gel Blaster. I'm excited to look at that.
Dude, it's been so much fun.
Do you need to wear goggles?
Yeah, you just got these glasses that come with it.
They come with it?
They don't, it only shoots 100 feet. And it's these little tiny capsules that when you put them in water, they expand to like a pea size. Mm-hmm. And then it's like these little jellies. And you just load up your hopper. It holds like 400 and go to town and have fun.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rad. So, man, Johnny, what year was it you guys had the house down by San Diego State? Was that like 2002, 3?
We had two houses. We had one that was like a 5-bedroom that was me, Alex, Oliver, Yosh. No, because Marcus was there. So it was Marcus, Oliver, Yosh, Ryan, and me. So I don't think Alex was there yet.
Dude, that was a crazy
Marcus
house.
was like the first one in the house. So when I drove down there and I got there, Marcus was like, I think the only one moved in yet. I'm pretty sure. Well, I know Marcus lived there. It's hard to remember the different times of how it all worked. But so we had that house. And then one of my buddies, so they moved Fraternity Row at San Diego State, and they built like a brand new Fraternity Row for all the fraternities. So one of my buddies was in Kappa Alpha, which was the house that we ended up moving into. And they were all moving out, and they were just going to tear the place down, and they weren't going to do anything. But we were able to get in touch with whoever the owner was and just decided or talk them into letting us rent it instead of tearing it down. I don't know, somehow
worked out.
Yeah, because I want to dive into that, because for me, and I think a lot of people would agree, you guys defined like paintball culture, a brotherhood of young athletes, young paintball athletes that were living the rock star lifestyle, winning a ton of events. You all lived together. It seemed like you guys were inseparable. You guys were like, you created a whole culture, a whole movement in paintball, where I think so many teams have tried to recreate that. Like any team that gets a paintball house, I think they aspired to do what Dynasty was doing at that time, and it really was iconic. It was so cool. It was like, the first of its kind in our sport. What was that like, living with some of your best friends? Did you go to San Diego State?
No, that was my original plan, but it ended up I didn't. So we ended up playing so much paintball that every one of us dropped out of school and just literally played paintball the whole time. Because we were just talking about that before we got on the podcast. I was talking about with Tyler, like, you guys play 4 events a year. Like, that would drive me crazy. We played 15 back then.
Yeah.
We played 5 NPPL, 5 PSP, and it might have been 4 and 5, but whatever. It was close to 15. And then we'd go to Europe too and play the Millennium Series.
Yeah.
But only the top American teams would go to Europe. But dude, we played so much paintball. Like, we either practiced or were at a paintball event, and we did it for, if you think about it, like probably 40 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, it's insane.
So, and you can't go to school and play them and be gone all the time like that. It was impossible.
Which is why you guys got so good, man.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thought like back then people were like, Dynasty plays paintball every day, and we absolutely did not play paintball every day.
Yeah.
We would have probably played a lot, but we played at SC Village, and we lived in San Diego, so it was like an hour and a half, maybe hour and 45 minutes. It was pretty far. So we played Saturday and Sunday, and we played all day Saturday and Sunday, but then we went home and just live for 5 days and then play paintball again. We didn't play every day.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do during the week?
I mean, honestly, we went to movies all the time. We went to dinner together. We went to lunch together. We played ultimate frisbee. We, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just filled our time with, just stuff. We always did everything together. I mean, maybe not all 10 of us would go, but it'd be like 5 of us doing something, or 8 of us, or 7 of us. And then we would have, big dinners. We'd go into PB and all eat dinner together. Sometimes we'd do like dinner night, and we'd meet up with like Maddie, Marshall, and at that time Travis Lemansky lived there. I think Travis worked at JT. I actually worked at JT in the beginning. I forgot about that. Right when I first moved down there, I worked at JT for like 2 years, I think, or 3 years.
Oh wow, quite a while.
Yeah,
wow,
for a while, 2 years, I think. That was really, really fun. Marcus worked in there with me for a little while. He got fired. Ryan worked in there for a while. He got fired. And then it was like just me, and I worked in the art department, and I made most of the jerseys.
No way.
And I worked with Don Widmer, who was like the super iconic JT guy. He made all the designed all the jerseys and the shirts and all that, Yeah. So I worked there for a while. So we'd go to a tournament, and I would have like an extra bag filled with like 6 teams jerseys that got made like last minute. We were working till midnight or whatever. But it was cool because, it's like I talked about earlier, like I thought it was so cool for these teams to be underneath this cool JT, that tripod thing, where you'd stage under. And then like 2 years later, I was working at JT playing on a professional paintball team, so it was pretty cool. Yeah.
You were creating it all, and it all, kind of stemmed from that house too, like you guys being that close together. I think it translated onto the field too. You kind of knew each other, how you were going to do things before you even had to communicate about it, because the guy.
Yeah, I mean, we were all such good friends, but like, we all lived together. It was 10 of us that lived in a house, so I mean, we're on top of each other all the time. We did everything together, so like we're constantly like. So Ryan and I hated Ryan in the beginning. Like I hated him so much. He was such an asshole. And he was this little guy, and he would just run his mouth, and I wanted to just pound him. I've always been twice his size. And now Ryan's like literally, one of my best friends in the world,
Yeah.
And he has been for a really, really long time. But he was such a pain in the ass.
He's got that effect. He's a little sweet and sour
it wasn't
piece
just
of candy.
Me. So many people hated him. He was so annoying. He was such an asshole. And he was just so little, and he just bugged you,
He means well. He means well.
Dude, I love Ryan. I'd do anything for Ryan. I love him. But and we've been super close ever since. But like in the very beginning, he got on my nerves quite a bit. But you're around everyone 24/7. We literally did everything together. We really, really did. So
had a ton of fun. I mean, just
so
the best times of your life.
So much fun. Actually, WDP used to like fly down, or would just send money for us to throw parties sometimes. Just
there we go.
Like randomly. Yeah.
Dude.
Team bonding, baby.
That's pretty tight.
So other companies would like pay us tons of money, and it was so cool, like later on. But like WDP, like literally didn't give us any money, like barely any, but they spent so much money on just doing stupid stuff like that, where they could have just paid us, But I think it was probably better the way we ended up getting it.
Yeah, it meant a lot,
cool.
like having those experiences are once in a lifetime type things.
Yeah, well, then in WDP, my gun's broken. I need the gun for this game. Like we're getting ready to go on, and they didn't have an inventory. So like, and then next thing you know, you had a gun, and then you're like, oh, I forgot to give it back to them, and they had no idea. And then, or I need a bottle, or I need this and that, and like, they didn't have their shit together. I mean, they were an amazing company, but I feel like they just didn't pay attention enough.
How did that company shut down? I don't even remember like when they closed their doors or how that happened.
Honestly, I don't exactly know either. Like from WDP, then we went to Smart Parts.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
Signed a pretty cool deal with Smart Parts.
Mm-hmm. And that was like 2008 or something, or
no, Smart Parts. That was that was like 2000, maybe 4.
Okay,
or maybe 5, something like that.
Yeah.
And they that was actually so crazy too. It was like they had us in this big like meeting in LA, like right down in like Hollywood or Studio City or something like that. And they had I forget who, I can't remember this guy's name now. He was a total trip. But anyway, they brought us in there like it was this big time like NFL signing. We sat around this big table. They had all these people coming in, and it was paintball. You know, like nobody was doing this, and we sat around there, and everyone signed everything, and there were all these like super important people around, and it was just so crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they had this shocker that was like kind of a good gun, but we told them like this gun's okay, but the East Coast people play different than we play. You know, they always had those like drop down tanks and their guns. Like we had these big, long like rifles like everyone plays with now. But they had these goofy guns where the tank was sitting underneath it. And so they always wanted these really small guns that were like super weird
Drop
to hold
forwards.
on to.
Yeah.
And we were like, we can't use these. Like can you make us a shocker, but that's like kind of more like that we like it? And they're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So like our shockers were like longer. They were different and they fit your hand better for like our style of play. And they were really cool about it. And they made us these shockers and we sold like a bajillion of them that year.
Yeah, you did.
And everyone was using that gun. Even if they didn't like Dynasty, they would take off the little Dynasty logo on the side and put whatever sticker they want on the side, but they still wanted to use that gun, you know? It ripped. That was probably the best gun that I've ever had. Yeah, those Dynasty shockers. They were really, really, really good.
Yeah, they're super cool looking too. Those are again iconic guns, you know.
To this day, everybody still wants that gun to this day. Yeah, straight up.
They shot. I mean, honestly, they shot so good.
Yeah,
the Lux was really, really good too. But like, you had to do something to it after every match. You know, like after a full match of play, you're like greasing and changing O-rings and doing all this stuff. And it was.
I'm actually shooting the Lux these days, and that gun is
deal.
No, you don't have to like. My maintenance is pretty light on it, but it shoots butter. For sure.
I remember the Lux was shot super good, but it was essentially a shocker. I mean, it's a smart gun, you know, it's a shocker.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same deal.
I'm actually gonna try and hunt down like an old shocker and maybe shoot that at a couple tournaments.
No way.
That'd be fun. Why not?
It would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure my team will really love that.
Oh yeah, you'd be like Angel, because Angel worked like this side deal where they had this gun called like an Epiphany or something.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Remember it was like a $12 paintball gun, and Angel like worked this deal where like they paid him whatever Smart Parts paid him to use this Epiphany.
I remember,
and so he would use this gun in tournaments. It was like we had these crazy super high end, we had gun techs and everyone making the Techna trigger and all these like special shit on our guns, you know?
Yeah.
And Angel was using an Epiphany. It was like $100 gun. It was so bad. But if you know Angel,
was he still doing it?
He would shoot 5 guys a game. It was no big deal. So it didn't matter for him. But that sort of thing like blew my mind. Like I always wanted to have like the best equipment. It always had to work perfect. Otherwise I was freaking out. And Angel's like, it was hissing when the game started. And you're like, God damn it.
Hey, shout out to Vallejo. Angel, just the whole thing was so funny. Like he worked the deal and got it all worked for him. It's great.
He's shooting a pip. Like we have a Dynasty shocker. We are on Dynasty, all of us. And he is shooting the worst gun that Smart Parts makes because they were paying him a little bit. It was unbelievable.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, love dude. Angel's, I'm telling you, he was
nasty.
I mean, Oliver's the best person that's ever played paintball, without a doubt. But dude, Angel's got to be right in there, pretty close, dude. I'm telling you, like he was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He was never like a showboat, you know. Nah. He never even needed the shine. He knew what he was doing, and he just got the work done.
Yeah, and we'd be sitting there walking fields like we were talking about, like hours and hours walking fields, and he would be like, he'd walk him for a while, and then just be like, he could call everyone boss. Nah, boss. I'm going to sit over here now. Like, I know exactly what I need to do. And like, he was the only guy that got to kind of do that after a while because we knew like he got it. He understood. You know? And he was only going to the snake. There wasn't really a chance that he was going to have to go anywhere else, you know? But he would look at the other side and then he would look at the snake and then it'd be like, no one's making the snake. No one's making the snake. We got to hold you back. And then we'd hold him back, or he's like, no, I can make it. And then he would make it, or he's like, I need to get held back. And then he would hold, like, he just knew. Like he rarely got shot off the break. Like we'd send him far down the snake and he would get in there and just do damage, or he'd be like, I can't make it. And so we just knew, like, don't even ask, you know, like he can't make it, but he'll get in there, you know, and he got in. He was so good. He was so good.
Yeah. Angel was incredibly nasty. It'd be great if we could get him on the show.
don't snap shoot, don't firefight with Angel. A bad idea. You were going to the dead box if you try to get a little snap shooting contest with Angel.
Down
he was
the wire,
good, dude.
Yeah.
Was it just raw talent, or was his work ethic insane too? Like, how much was he drilling on the weekends? Was he?
So I think he did drill a bunch. Like when I first met him and started playing, because he was always a really good shot. But Angel was just always really athletic. So I think just some people just understand, like the field and the game and like how it transpires, and what you need to do. Not everything's just snap shooting and running super fast. Like if you got to be able to put it together and figure it out too. And for him, like that was like his calling. Like paintball made sense to him always. And I think that's why he was so good.
Yeah.
And he locked in he never wanted, people after a while, you're like, oh, I want to start in the back center. Every paintball player that finally gets good and has been playing for a while, no matter what you did. Brandon Short was like, I don't want to be known as a snake player forever. And it's like, yeah, but you're so good playing the snake. Like, what do you want to do anything else? Angel never had one of those days.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, I'm going to the snake. That's what I'm doing. Like, he never wanted to do anything else. It was never like, oh, I want to play the Doritos. I'm tired of that. Like, no, never. He was a snake guy.
He's the OG surgeon. We used to call Short the surgeon.
Yeah.
On the snake side,
He's
man.
good. Dude, Short and I had a heart-to-heart too, but it was when I was on Ironman. You probably even remember, but Short was like, Marcelo Short was like bitching about not wanting to be known as just a snake guy. I wanted to play all these other positions. And it's like, well, that's fine. It's good. You want to be like good at all this other stuff, but like, you can't complain when your team wants you to go to the snake because you are the best snake player we have, So you're going to hurt 100%. The team by not going into the snake because you're the best we got, And,
and it's one of the toughest positions to play. Not everybody can. No. I think a snake player can kind of go and attack anywhere on the field, but it's a lot harder for other players to get in the snake and know what to do in there.
Dude, it's so hard. It's super small in there. Honestly, a mouse is amazing in the snake. He's huge. I do not understand how he can play in the snake, being the size that he is.
For sure.
Like it does. I don't know.
The snake is a lot bigger now than it used to be, too.
Oh, really?
Like they have all those big bunkers over there, the big wedges. Yeah, like the fields have changed a little bit on that. Actually, sometimes the height really helps you because at the 50-yard line, they'll have the big wedges, and someone like Mouse or like Smotrov, they can get in there and stand over the top and just kind of dunk on people, whereas I can't do that. I could play one side of those things. Tyler can do it. Tyler, when you played on the snake side in Philly for Dynasty, and I think that was 2018. Dominant, right? They had those big structures over there. Is like your height really helps in that case.
I'm the tallest snake player in the game, baby. I'll get in there and get it done.
I love that. The Mantis.
Yeah. Mantis Fest.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I used to love those spots that you could see over, that nobody could see over, so nobody worried about it, but then you're like taller than everybody, so then you just stand right over the top and wear somebody out, and they're like, that's a bummer. I didn't know you could do that.
Yep, optics. You got the telescopic up there. Marcus, the Dream, actually gave me the like whole Mantis Fest, and like, because Marcus was always into like manifesting his reality, and I really miss that guy a lot, dude. I think about him all the time.
That was a huge bummer. I didn't even know I was playing golf. It was like a morning. I played with my father-in-law like early in the morning sometimes, and Cameron called me and she's like, "Do you think the news about Marcus is true?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, Opie just posted this thing." I'm like, "What?" So then I instantly got on my phone and looked and was like, just like devastated. I had so many crazy, fun, cool memories with Marcus. Yeah. If my dad was here, he could tell you the funniest story about Marcus. He showed up to my parents live in like in a country club and like, pretty nice area. And Marcus shows up in his Winnebago RV. He was painted all black. He was smoking. I think it barely made it to our street. This like good looking, like 5'10" Asian chick walks out, and Marcus, and they're at my house, and this RV's parked right out front. My dad loved it, and he gets inside, but then like my dad gets on the phone with the sheriff's office because he knows the guy down there. He talked to him. He was like, "Hey, what can I do with this thing? Can we park it anywhere?" And they were like, "Yeah, come park it behind Safeway." So like we had to call the police because like they're gonna tow that, or So my dad like talked to the sheriffs and got him to like park it behind a Safeway so Marcus could stay at our house for a while. It was so funny. He was like going from, I think next stop was like Chicago or something from our house, but
living the dream.
Yeah, all over he picked me up with a Rolls Royce from Las Vegas one time.
Yep.
I wasn't even going to stay with him. He's like, "Oh, I got you," and just picked me up in a Rolls Royce. Like, dude, that's Marcus. Like, whose Rolls Royce is this? Like, this is
I
not
know.
yours. Like,
He let me take a G-Wagon to practice one weekend. I crashed at his pad and he had a G-Wagon and I was
yeah,
like, it's not Marcus's, but it's one of
no,
his, it's one of the coalition. And
yeah,
I was like, all right, mobbing the G-Wagon to practice today.
dude. Oh man, we've been all over the world with that guy. He would go everywhere. And then he actually only played on Dynasty for not that long, but we lived together in both houses. I lived with him, and then he just moved down to the beach. But then he was just a nomad. He was always everywhere. He would live in other countries, other
Yeah.
states, and the guy never had a job
Mhm.
in his entire life, but never, like, always had all this fancy clothes and like, dude,
Yeah.
it was crazy. He was fun. He was a really good time.
I know. I love him. Miss him.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
He was a maniac. Dude. He was a good paintball player. And he
Dude,
wasn't like
invented the run through, baby.
for sure. and but like he didn't look like one of those like super good like athletic paintball players, you know.
Yeah.
He was just good and like understood what was going on, and yeah, he'd come stuff you if you weren't paying attention.
Yeah. I know. I saw him in Chicago before he passed away not too long, and we were running around, playing at the 10-man event out there, and he was still living it up, just
Yeah.
100 miles an hour, having fun, playing paintball, designing, creating stuff, and
Yeah.
he has like these apps he was working on, and just
I know.
always scientific and crunching the numbers.
Dude, I was texting with him like 2 days before, and he sent me this like one of the things he said ended up being crazy because he ended up passing away the next day, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like, like the good die young, or like we're not going to live forever or something. It was like one of the last, because he was sending me you can send like, instead of texting, you could send like a little like a message
voice.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And his raspy voice that I think Scott Crescent gave him. Didn't someone choke him out and made it that his voice raspy? Because it wasn't always like that.
What?
I never heard that.
I never heard that story.
Dude, it might have been Scott Kemp. It was one of these guys like choked him out and like messed his throat up, because his voice wasn't always like that. You remember he had like a normal voice.
Yeah.
And I
He's a
remember he told me
Wolverine.
it was one of those guys got him. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. And then that last message I had from him was just so crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
We love him.
R.I.P. Marcus, the carcass.
Forever,
for
dude.
Or Dank the Tank, or he had so many nicknames.
Yeah. Legend.
Dreamy, dude.
Dreamy.
Yeah,
Dreamy. Yeah.
He was a funny guy to live with.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
can only imagine in the early years.
Dude, he's so funny because he had a temper too, but he's just a little guy, So he would get all worked up and all fired up, but like, it's just nothing would happen.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
He's like, I'm a Wolverine. That's what he would always say.
Yeah, he was like, well, I'll eat your throat out.
Yeah. His
I never saw
passion,
anybody eating his
dude,
throat out though.
No, it never happened. But his passion for paintball, man, was unmatched. That guy lived for the game for sure.
Yeah, he was good too, man. He was really good.
Yeah.
He wasn't like you said, he's so like nomadic. It was hard for him to be like focused and play like on a team like professional paintball, because he was just,
I mean, he played the way he lived his life. Again, It was just pedal to the metal.
Right.
Mhm.
You all gas, no brakes.
Nah.
He's coming through.
Yeah.
It's either going to work or it's not. But when it did, paid off big time.
It
worked,
in the Rolls Royce.
Oh my God, he was a trip. He was so funny.
One of the original Cassidy videos on HK Army's YouTube, I think it's like 2011 NPPL. There's a cool scene with Marcus running through, and then I'm in that one as well. Dynasty, you guys are all, running around out there.
I gotta watch some of those videos. He always makes good videos. I don't think I've seen that one either.
Yeah, you got to dive in. They're really good.
Where is it on? Like, does he have a YouTube channel?
On HK, if you go to HK's YouTube, it's in the archives.
Oh, HK's YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then just look through all those videos. There's so many.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So I want to get into the Dynasty stories a little bit more. Like, can you walk us through a few of your favorite tournaments during that era, that time, or like maybe just breeze us through those years?
So Huntington Beach, those were always, they were just the crowd and everyone there, and we knew everyone. Those were epic. But
yeah,
going to Europe was super fun. And like a lot of people that play paintball probably won't get to experience that, because you just can't go to Europe and play paintball. You play NPPL, and that was the coolest thing ever. But then when you got to go to Europe and do that, it was it was epic. So they would have I guess they would call it the European World Cup, but it was in France, Toulouse, France.
Yeah.
And they had these huge crowds there too, because they would have, it was, I don't know where we would play. It was almost like I think a soccer field, but they had like this little grandstand. They weren't massive; it was only on one side, but they'd fill that thing up, and that was even before Huntington Beach. So that was like the biggest crowd you could see with that. And there'd be two fields right in the middle, and they would start the like semifinals matches at the same time with one buzzer, so you couldn't fix games. So you would play, like you'd be playing, and then your game would be done, and you'd like trying to see what's happening in the other field, the field right next to you, to see what was going to happen. There's all these people there, and in Europe, they had professional teams, but the teams in the United States were they were better. I mean, the Tauntauns were good, and they had the Ugly Ducklings and like all these. Joy Division was a good team too, but the teams in the United States, we had Dynasty, we had Avalanche, we had Aftershock. They were just better,
monsters.
So we would get over there, and we were like absolute real life superstars. It'd be like if we played another professional sport, like a real, like
of course
soccer or baseball. So it was so fun. Like you just couldn't sign enough autographs. You couldn't, everybody wanted your jersey. They were like peeling it off you almost. You couldn't get out of there. Like it was so much crazier than in the United States, and the tournaments were so much fun.
And that time, how old were you when you were going and doing all this? I mean, early 20s, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was before I was even 21. So yeah, it was probably like when I was. I mean, I have
what an experience, dude! What a crazy experience! That is insane.
Like I have so many paintball memories that I for sure was not 21, and because we were always trying to like weasel your way into because like the other guys are like all the Avalanche guys are all in the bar, and like all the Aftershock. So like all the guys that you're like kind of hang out with on the field, like you're trying to get to the bars, but we're like 18, 19, 20, and so like in Old Town, like you're trying to go. What's that bar in Old Town?
Sun on the beach.
Sun on the beach, baby.
Sun on the beach.
You could be 9 and go to Sun on the beach, I think, and get a drink. And everyone's just in there, and this probably the World Cup stuff. And then
that's Ryan Greenspan's favorite place, actually.
Sun on the beach,
Florida. Sun on the beach.
Why do I catch a little
Fun
sarcasm in that? I have a feeling that doesn't seem like one of Ryan Greenspan's favorite spots. But we had some great times there. Everyone would just go to Old Town and gravitate in Old Town around Sun on the beach. I think it was even didn't they put it in one of those old movies, like Push Your Sunday Driver? They had it in there.
Yeah. Down in Old Town where I know they'll be drinking.
I wish you guys still did stuff like that. Like I wish.
Yeah.
Maybe you do. I don't know. But like I wish like all the pro teams and everything still did fun stuff like that, where they had like video premieres and like if you went to like all the tournaments were like in the same location, Badlands or like whatever. So you just knew what you were doing when you got there. It was like, oh, everyone's going to be here, so we're going there. Everyone's going to be here, so we're going there, And everyone was like all together, and it was just this fun, like, paintball camaraderie deal.
Mm-hmm. I know. Our days are way more like regimented to where, especially now that we have the footage on our phones, now we have like an, kind of a responsibility to watch as much footage as possible. So we'll literally like leave the fields, go straight to a meeting or work or film room, get ready. And it's like, it's not like it used to be. Cause I remember back in the day when I was a kid, just the what were the old timers to me who were just like in their mid 20s, I was just a kid, but they were all going out having fun. And I thought that was super cool. They would all show up to practice and be talking about the night before and all the fun stuff that was going on. And it was just the way it was.
In tournaments, like you get there like a day early to walk fields. So, that day that you didn't play paintball, the next day was always the day that everyone would go out and eat dinner and like kind of party. And then you walk fields just absolutely banged up, hurting. And it was summer, so it's just sweating. It's just miserable. But then like we never even had a sip of beer or alcohol throughout the whole tournament. But then Sunday, we never flew out on Sunday. We always fly out on Monday so we could rip on Sundays.
Of course.
And but like during the tournament, we were very strict. Like nobody was drinking.
Yeah.
And
that's how you do it.
You kind of have to be. Practice.
For sure.
it's a different story. We were going out at night at practice, and those were made some rough practices. But when it was game time, it was really serious. But we had to watch games. Like, we couldn't. There was no film.
Exactly.
So we were
know.
just sitting in the stands, sweating at the field all day, and then everyone's getting grouchy. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. We gotta go. Like, we don't need to watch this game. And
we talk about how, like, it's completely changed. You guys are so lucky today, having phones and everything, because you had to spend hours in the stands or on the sidelines watching games before.
Yeah, and like the one game you wanted to watch was like the last game of the day, you know, and you're like, dude, we really have to stay to watch that game. Let's get out of here.
I know.
But
even
like
European paintball has changed a lot. You can only take one pro out there now.
Yeah, that's so weird.
For each, yeah.
Why do they do that?
Well, the European pro teams were complaining. It went to a vote to the European pro teams, and they voted. They had 3 options: let it remain as it is, to where they would have to beat teams like Impact, Houston Heat. We had the Golden State Kings over there, which was a mix of U.S. pro players. So leave things as is, allow 2 U.S. pro players, or allow 1 U.S. pro player. Those are the 3 options. And they voted to only allow 1 U.S. pro player, which,
you need a buddy.
Is what it is.
You need a travel buddy.
You totally need a travel buddy.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think that's weak. You don't really have a professional. You don't really have a professional division if you're going to limit the people that can play, and then you're going to limit the best players from being able to play over there. Then you don't have the highest. You don't have the highest level of competition. You shouldn't even call it professional. Like, what is that then? It's a limited. I mean, I feel like those Joy Division was really good. Tauntauns back then was really good. The Russians were really good. Like, we battled those teams, and they didn't. There were no.
The Russians can't play either because they play in the U.S. Pro League.
Oh, these dudes are sissies over there. Who runs that league still? Laurent? Does he run that? Sorry.
It's actually the NXL. It's so like Tom Cole and the NXL. It's just NXL Europe now. Laurent is an advisor of some sort, but it's the crew from the NXL from the US.
That's a bummer.
Squad. Yeah, I know it is. It's definitely a bummer because I understand both sides of it.
I mean, if you do that, you're essentially saying that, like,
we're not good enough to beat the best pro teams,
and we can never and will never be good enough to beat them, right? Because otherwise, it's just like, okay, well, then let's get better, and then our teams will get better. But you're saying that you somehow,
which is what happened. That's why European paintball got so good, is because the U.S. players went over there for so long and elevated the bar, and
totally.
These teams were able to compete against the U.S. pro teams for, so long that they figured out how to beat them, and they did. You're right. Tauntauns became a very, very good organization. Won a lot of events. Joy Division.
The
there's teams.
The Russians are super good. That was always the hardest team we had to play. When we went to, it was like if we had to play like Avalanche or another team, they were obviously really good. But the European team that you for sure didn't want to have to play, it wasn't as walk in the park, was the Russians. Yeah, but they were super nice. We'd get over there and they would always give us a bottle of vodka. Like, they were like super, super nice to us always.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That bugs me now that you told me that.
But
it's a bummer, But if it comes down to those teams not wanting to compete anymore and them not wanting to play, and as a business, you got to do it. But I agree.
I'm not saying it's the business's fault. The fact that they let the players vote on it, that's just kind of a shame. It's kind of just saying that, like, we have some sort of somehow we're like, it's not possible for us to be as good as these other people, but that's false. We all put our pants on the same way. Get better. You know what I mean? The only way you're going to get better is playing people that are better than you. You're not going to get better by beating up on people that aren't any better than you. Don't learn anything, So I don't know. It's just a shame.
No, I feel that way.
It could be completely wrong, but I just don't understand how you can have the highest division of something, but not let other people that are better play in it. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm hoping they'll change it to 2 pros. Yeah.
Totally. 2's a lot better. 100%.
Because like you said, you need a travel buddy, or you need.
Yeah.
I like going by myself, to be honest. You do kind of submerge. Like when you go with a travel buddy, you kind of click up and you don't really get the full experience, in my opinion. But it is really fun taking a buddy.
Yeah.
Traveling with them.
Living it up. Just like when you get to travel with your bros, you get to have a really good time.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, you just get to go to Europe to play paintball. Like, how cool is that? Like I'll probably never go to Europe again. I don't really have a reason to, and I wouldn't have had a reason to go to Europe all those times that I
Oh,
went.
yeah, we got to talk about all that.
Yeah.
What?
JP, are you still
What?
not flying?
Oh no! Well, I fly a little bit. For sure I'm not flying out there. I like the
Damn, dude.
I like the short ones. I like to try to keep it under 2.5, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
What about taking a boat? Europe's amazing, man. You
Dude,
got
I
to
get
get back
I'm a
out there.
sissy, man. I get
How does Cam
seasick.
feel?
I don't like to fly, so I get seasick. So boats are out.
He's happy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I live on the West Coast. I'm lucky. It's nice out here.
Yeah.
They got some good golf over there.
They
They
do
got
have
good
some
golf
good
here.
golf. Yeah.
They do. They do have
Yeah,
good golf.
pretty good golf
And
here.
before I forget, I just want to send love out to everybody in Europe going through. I know a lot of people can't even play paintball right now out there.
Yeah.
So definitely praying for you guys. Hopefully we can get everything going back to normal and get the paintball train rolling for everybody out there.
Yeah, like Australia's got pretty good paintball, right? And they're just locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Australian
bummer.
scene, I've said for a long time, to me, it's like the third,
Mhm.
third in line. You've got the U.S. League, then the European League, and then Australia's right there.
Yeah.
But they're in a pretty serious lockdown right now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah, everything's
It's tough.
everything's really tight right now, and just we got to do our best to stay safe and keep playing paintball. Thankfully, paintball is a really cool sport where we can still get outside and keep our distance and still
Yeah.
have fun. But
It's huge.
yeah, hopefully we can get everybody opened up here shortly.
Yeah, everyone just play paintball now, right?
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
Like golf blew up during this
Golf
whole thing
is-
because you could go
Yeah,
play golf. It's outside, right? And you're pretty far from everyone. They just say don't touch the pin. Well, it's not
That's
that big
right.
of a deal. Well, like
Yeah.
paintball, I mean,
Mhm.
what's the difference?
Yeah,
You're outdoors. You're just out in the open. You're playing.
Got a
You're really
mask
not
on.
very close to people. You have a mask on, which is apparently
Yeah.
the greatest thing to stop
Yeah.
the spread here that everyone says. So you
Yeah.
got a mask. You're ready to rock. Play
Mhm.
paintball.
Yep. Go have some fun.
Yeah.
That's what, man. Our whole mantra for the show and for everything is just to get out and play, man. Still
Yeah.
enjoy. It's been wild, but still got to find ways to play and have fun and enjoy your life through the madness.
Dude, paintball's so much fun. I remember
It is the best.
it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I really enjoy paintball, and I play like once a year with you guys. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like at a
Yeah.
woods ball event or something dumb, I'll play. And it's super fun. But like, dude, it consumed my entire mind and my world for so long, and I loved it. I didn't want to do. I remember hating it so much that you can only play paintball on Saturdays and Sundays because I had 5 days where I was like depressed, just waiting
Yeah.
for like Friday night where I couldn't sleep to wake up to play paintball on Saturday and Sunday. It was just the
Hungry.
best.
Yeah.
I love paintball so much.
Yeah. It's the community, the sport, everything about it is it's a home run.
Yeah, it's
It
really
really is.
fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wish we had more practices and more events. That's the one thing. It's kind of been
Yeah,
a little bittersweet not having all the events and all the travel stuff that I personally miss out on. But in a way, we've been able to really connect with the paintball community on a whole nother level because, again, stuff domestically has been pretty open as far as paintball goes. So we've done a lot of clinics, a lot of coaching, a lot of regional events. You see a lot of the pros going out to their local fields, going to their local events, which is huge. Back in the day, you brought up SC Village. Like when I was a young kid, I could just go to SC Village and I knew there was going to be 40 pros, and like superstars. You've got Infamous, you've got Dynasty, Ironman would be out there, and you guys were accessible. I could watch you guys play, talk to you guys, hang out. That was a huge part of inspiring, my come up in the game because you guys were so close to home,
yeah,
quite literally. So, and Tyler was the same thing. He had all the legends up north, and I think we got away from that for sure. A lot of the pros in the last 5, 6, 7 years, if it's an off weekend, I don't think pros are, out playing, walk-ons or playing with the divisional players the way that it used to be. But in this last year, dude, you just saw it nonstop, like pros all over. Yeah.
That was like one of the few good things that came out of COVID, right?
Mhm.
Just getting,
Yeah, for sure.
trying to get out of the house the only way you can. You can play paintball, then you're going to play paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And golf.
do you guys? So you play every like 2 months or something, right? You have a tournament. Is that what it is?
That's when we'll have mandatory team practice.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
so
like your tournaments are every so you play a tournament, it's like
months.
2 months off, something like that.
Just about. Yeah.
But then, so do you like on the weekends? Do you still play paintball or do you?
Oh yeah.
I'm at a field every single weekend.
Okay, yeah.
Either coaching, not playing as much. I mean, when we have off weekends, I'm either coaching, doing a clinic, or something of the sort. But I'm at a field every single weekend.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm lucky. I got a field 5 minutes from my house, so I can just, and the guy lets me just go and run around whenever I want. So I
Nice.
just, during the week, I'll go and like shoot hoops or whatever, and run around.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, be training. And then we got our practices and stuff for the team that we get into typically
Yeah.
like 2 to 3 weeks before we go to our events and stuff.
Yeah. So you get like 2 or 3 in before the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did just play the ICC. Johnny, why didn't you play with us?
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
So I've been gone, like I was telling you guys before we got on the thing, like this, like 14 days out of this month already. Like we do our big family vacation, and then I had a wedding. I have a wedding in like 2 more weeks, and then like every other
Awesome.
week I have a wedding.
Mhm.
It's crazy. But one of these years, dude, I want to play in that one so bad. I've only
For
played,
sure.
I played a handful of those 10-mans that I had, and I had the time of my life. But they've all been out here. There was like one in San Diego, one at SC Village, Sacramento.
Yeah, we won the Sacramento one together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one was
That
fun.
was really fun.
Yeah.
The San Diego one, I don't remember. Did you guys play in that one? The San Diego one was really fun too.
I did not.
Was that the one we won $25,000? That wasn't. I think that was a different one. That was like the Vulcan
Different
Cup.
one.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
Ryan must have hid the money on that deal if I played on any of them that won 25,000, because he forgot to tell me about that part.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
That one would be fun.
I think they were different ones.
Yeah.
The one Johnny's talking about, I think, was at Bear's place out at Giant Paintball Park. Does that sound right?
Well, so there was one in Sacramento. There was one in San Diego that was like by a Indian casino.
Yeah. Giant Paintball.
Is that
yeah.
Giant Paintball?
No, I won $1,000 too at the casino off the penny slot. Remember?
That's right.
Dude.
So you did play in that one. Yeah. Yeah, Brian played.
You guys were at the tables dominating.
Tyler, didn't you win in the slot machines at the Vegas airport too when we went to one of the events? You won a couple $100.
Yeah, I hit like as soon as we landed.
Yeah.
Hit a quick one.
Are you kidding me?
Dude,
It's got to be a good sign.
that's sometimes the best place to get it is right at the airport, getting ready to go home from Vegas.
Yeah.
I went in there all the time. My daughter wants to say hi again.
That's funny.
Hello. Oh, yeah, she's getting ready for bed.
Yeah, she is.
Hey, Johnny, what do you think is one of the biggest things that people can learn from playing competitive paintball, being a part of a team and all that kind of good stuff?
The biggest things you can learn from playing competitive paintball, like things that you would take in life.
In life, yeah.
Dude, it's hey, Peyton, please stop. Thank you. Like the team, but depending on if you've played paintball, played other sports or not, but I think team sports are so big. Like I'm going to have my kids for sure play sports. I think the team bonding, the camaraderie, being able to get along with other people on your team, even if you don't really like them, but you kind of all have the same common goal.
Yeah.
And then like you all have the same passion to strive and be good at like the same thing. So it kind of keeps you out of trouble too for these kids that could be like maybe going out and doing something they shouldn't be doing, or maybe on the weekends or at night or whatever. Like, I got to wake up because we got a game the next day, or just it kind of keeps you out of trouble and it keeps you like on the same track, But I always think it's like I can't just like kind of go through the motions. I always need to like look forward to something. So if it's like for me, like I played softball now, so I like that. So I like look forward to going to like a softball tournament, or got like maybe my buddy's golf tournament at his club or whatever, like something to like look forward to. And before both of those things, like I'm grinding, I'm hitting golf balls, I'm doing whatever, like trying to like get in shape. And if you don't have something like that, if you don't like, I think sports can really like help you get like the mindset to like work,
Yeah. You actually
work hard at something, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, man. You gotta, and like you said, with a common goal, with everybody working hard together to accomplish those types of things. But you actually, you play softball with some of my boys from Modesto.
Yeah. Dude, those is with Juju and what's the other one? I'm so bad with names, but the other kid.
Oh, Bryson.
Yeah, Juju and Bryson, yeah.
Dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they're always like, yeah, we saw Johnny, at the softball tournament.
Yeah, we were done playing. We were watching some games because it goes like late in the night sometimes, and so we were having some beers. And I had your old phone number, and I was lighting you up on these text messages. I was photos with, we had a couple of drinks, and then the guys finally like, hey, this isn't Tyler's number anymore, and I'm like, oh, whoops.
Dude, that person gets worked.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
happened in our
yeah.
group chat too for a while.
Yeah.
Dude, it was
The
like
Dynasty
probably
group
like
chat.
8, probably from like 8 to like 8:45. I hit you with like 3 photos and all this shit. Like it
Yeah.
was so funny, and it was not you
Damn, dude.
anymore.
Damn
That
it.
is really
It was
funny.
funny, yeah.
Yeah, that person, I hear stories from people all day who are like, yeah, I tried hitting your phone, and the person is just like cool about it. They're like, Tyler's not here, man.
Yeah.
He's just all day fielding calls.
Tyler's not here.
He's got to be so bummed.
Yeah.
He's got to be so bummed.
He just gets worked.
Yeah.
It's funny. Kyle Spica. There's another Kyle Spica on Instagram, and he actually has the Kyle Spica name as his
Oh.
tag, and so he'll always get messages of people like, "Oh, is this Kyle Spica?" And so they become friends. They follow each other on
That's
Instagram
funny.
now, and
Yeah, but Kyle
it's
should
kind of
be
a funny
like, all right,
thing.
you probably hate this, so let's,
Just change names.
give
Yeah,
me
I
the
know.
real, give me the real handle.
I don't think he wants it. I think he likes Kyle Gosling.
Oh, that's
Gosling.
right. He
Gosling?
is Kyle
Yeah.
Gosling. That's right. That's actually really funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I like hearing stories like that. Like I got someone called me like 5 times yesterday, left a voicemail. It was like really sporadic. And I couldn't even really understand them. And so I texted them back, like, hey, who is this? And they're like, oh, is this Helen? And I was like, no, it's not. I think you got the wrong number. But after that, we just had a little exchange, and it was short and sweet, but it was friendly, and like,
Yeah.
for some reason, I think those are always cool interactions when you get a total stranger that, you have that kind of phone interaction, and, maybe you say something that makes that person's day or vice versa.
Totally.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's
It'd
funny.
be easy to get pissed, if you're just getting like Tyler, Tyler, what is it? Like, I was like lighting this guy up with video, photos,
I would
and
think it's super funny.
Yeah, I probably would too, actually.
Yeah.
Who was it? Josh Howski?
Yeah.
He messaged the guy or girl, I don't even know, and like multiple times, and the person was not having it. They let him know, like in an aggressive way.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, it gets to that point.
Yeah.
Maybe if that's the third person that's done it that day and you're trying to work or whatever.
This
like,
has
you're
got to be
over it.
the 100th, dude. I'm telling you, that person just gets so many messages.
That's so funny.
Hey, so I want to talk about how the whole Dynasty Ironman shift happened, and like maybe bring us in through the tail end of Dynasty, and then how that all transpired.
Well, whatever year that was, maybe 2006 or something, is when like I started having really bad anxiety. I stopped flying. I stopped playing paintball, not because I wanted to at all. It was just wasn't in a good spot. And
did something happen on a flight? Is that
not really. It just kind of hit me like overnight.
Yeah.
And then I did have not a fun flight.
Jeez.
But
what happened on this flight?
I just had a panic attack. First one I've ever had in my life.
Man.
I didn't know what was happening,
Your
and
heart
I was
just
sitting,
feels like it's gonna bust out of your chest.
yeah. And I was sitting, like, we flew so much, like like you guys probably, like I flew first class everywhere because I got upgraded all the time where I could upgrade. So, but I was sitting like bulkhead, the first one,
Yeah.
where like you got room, but you just have that. Yeah, I'm claustrophobic, so you just have like
That wall.
2 feet and then just a wall, and it just hit me, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't feel good. I know what's happening, and then I had like another one after practice one time. Yosh actually took me to the hospital because I thought I couldn't breathe. It was all messed up.
Jeez.
And then,
Dude, I'm sorry to hear that. That's crazy.
I moved home. I was like, I don't know what's happening to me. So then I stopped playing paintball for like, I don't remember how long it was. It was like, I don't know. I can't remember. It was 3 events or something like that, 4 events, maybe more than that. But then I'm like, well, I want to keep playing, but I'm not flying. So I'm just going to drive. And then we had John O'Mara, who didn't like to drive or didn't like to fly. So he was driving to the events. So John O'Mara, I would hop in, and John O'Mara would drive me to these events, and then I'd play paintball again.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that time frame there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can't exactly remember for some reason right now. So I stopped playing paintball. I think I like half retired or something. I stopped playing paintball, but I think it was the same reason, basically because of that. Like I didn't want to just keep driving around or whatever. And then, but I stopped for like maybe 6 months, and then actually, Tyler, you'll probably remember there was this field up by us, like not Modesto, but it was only there for a little while. It was like by a
Lodi.
fairgrounds. Was that Lodi?
Lodi,
By
yeah, the
fairgrounds?
Lodi. Or it wasn't Manteca Water Slides, was it?
No, it
was
was
the Lodi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I started just going out there by myself every once in a while, and I
I
was
remember
playing.
seeing you out there.
Yeah, playing. Then I'm like, man, I kind of like this again. Maybe I'm gonna start doing that. I met the Rob Montero, or
Yeah, Rob Montero.
Exclusive was his team called? Whatever.
San Fran Explicit.
Yeah, I was kind of help coach those guys a little bit, but then I was playing, and I'm like, man, I still like this a lot. This is really fun. So then I'm like, maybe I'll just play an event, play again, and then so like kind of last minute, I just played with Bob that one time at
That's right.
whatever event that was.
Yeah, with the legacy jerseys.
Yeah, and we ended up playing Dynasty and went to overtime with them, and then I played in the overtime point and we beat them. It was kind of cool.
Dude, that was crazy. Although, I remember that game. Oh my god,
and
that was nuts.
And but it was like, I mean, those are still my friends. It wasn't like I was mad at anybody. I just, so then I played that. It was fun. And then I'm like, so now I want to play. And Infamous asked me to play. So then I'm like, okay, cool. So then I played with Infamous. So there was only one tournament left, and it was San Diego. And then so I go and I play with Infamous in that last tournament. But then at that point, I had been like Nikki and Oliver, and they were all like, dude, you got to play on our team next year. You got to play on our team next year. I got a visitor again.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, we'll see, So then it was super fun playing with Infamous. Like I love LB and I love some of those guys. It was so random to play with Infamous for like one tournament. So then the next year was when I played on the Ironman. And that was pretty easy, dude, because I had so many friends on that team, But I would have played with Dynasty, but I went back to the first practice, I remember, and I was so pumped, and I thought everyone was going to be like so excited. But there were some guys that like I probably was going to take playing time away from that were going to have to sit if I came back. And like Davey, who's a buddy of mine, obviously was like, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Like some of us are not happy that you just came back like this because, for those reasons. But I was like almost heartbroken. Like, dude, I thought everyone was going to be so excited. Like I'm back, these are my boys. We're going to, like, I don't want to be sitting at home, like I'm ready to rock, and that's what happened. So that's when I took a short flight with my dad, and then I got back to flying again. So I still fly, but I just don't I'm not going to Europe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when I was like, I'm back, I can play, let's roll, and then I went to that practice, and then they were like bummed kind of. And I think I played one event, and I was like, well, dude, I just won't play, like I don't want it to be like shitty like this, where like some people are like, there's like animosity, you know what I mean? Like, I thought you guys were going to be happy, and there were a lot of people that were happy, but some of the people that weren't going to play as much were not so happy. So anyway, that's how I ended up going and playing with the Ironman for that year. And
Sam, dude, we were second choice.
Yeah,
you didn't even want to be playing with us,
dude. I mean, Dynasty, that's my team.
But we had Oliver.
Yeah,
we did.
That's your boy.
Oliver is my boy. Yeah, and dude, that year, like I said, it was one of the more fun years. I mean, all my years were super fun, except for the last one wasn't that fun. But they were all so much fun. But that year was just, I think it was just a little bit of a change. Just with, I get to meet some like really, really cool people, on my team, Arch and Scott and all these guys that I've been like super good friends with ever since. But a lot of them were already friends with. But when you're on a team with somebody, it's totally different, And so, dude, some of these guys, I love them, So it was really fun, and we had a really successful year. We had like the worst thing happen to us at the last event, not World Cup, but the NPPL.
San Diego.
We had to win like 2 prelim games, and we'd been like shit whapping everybody. Like we were like, dude, we won the one tournament playing with 6 guys because someone got caught bird dogging.
I remember that too. That was crazy.
Bird dog.
And we played with 6 guys throughout the whole prelims.
Who was that?
I don't know who that was. And we had to win 2 games to win the NPPL series. 2 games.
That's insane. 2
of
of the 8 prelim games.
And we
won
so
pissed.
1 prelim game. And it wasn't like we were like half-assed it. Like
that's not true. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Dude, nobody on the team practiced once after World Cup. We won World Cup. We had 4 weekends on the layout that the layout was released and we could get ready, and nobody wanted to go practice. That's why I was so pissed, and honestly made a decision that to this day was a big turning point in my career, because it's what got me cut from the team. Because I was out at the field every weekend practicing with Aftermath on the layout. And I remember like we had this major disagreement on one of the fields of like going to this tower to stop the snake. If you remember, like that snake was this really long straight snake, and we just kept getting demolished down the snake side because like Billy Wing for some reason just thought we shouldn't go to this tower, and it was the only spot that could stop the snake.
Yeah.
And before the last game, I took my gear off and left. I just left the event early because I was so frustrated that like one, I felt like I just wasn't being heard. You know that you know, God forbid I had a good idea of how to play this field, and we were just getting pummeled. And we were going to be the first team to dethrone Dynasty in the NPPL series. Like all we had to do was win two prelim games. Yeah, and we had like, you know, we had a very good bracket.
I mean,
to say the least.
There's a really good chance that you win every one of your prelim games. Like all we need to win two, and I think we played some really bad
8
teams.
prelim games.
You played 8 prelim games. Yeah, that was so bad.
I think one of the teams wasn't at Elevation, and back then, was that their name back then? No, it can't be. That was too long ago.
Yeah,
maybe it was. There's one of those teams that was like they were a semi-pro team.
Yeah,
they were a semi-pro team that just had gotten a pro spot. I mean, no disrespect, they brought the heat. They probably practiced, but yeah, our guys, did not practice, dude. We won World Cup. We were like back to back, and everyone was like, no, we'll see you in San Diego. Yeah. I mean, maybe some of the guys went and played on their own. I don't know. But I remember being just, so frustrated that felt like,
I'm glad you remember. I mean, the elephant in the room is your memory. You have a memory like an elephant. I don't know how you remember all this shit. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I do not remember that at all, but I 100% believe you because you just told me a 3-minute story about it. Yeah. So, like, I believe you.
Well, like it was a big wake-up call for me. It was a big wake-up call for me because, again, I got cut from a team where we just won back-to-back world championships. I was 18 years old, and my career was really just getting started, and I was on a team with a bunch of people that I had looked up to and thought I was going to spend my career with, and although I know that I was right, my just delivery was one of those, typical stereotypical things, like probably right, but delivery is terrible, and how you're trying to get your point across is wrong and immature, and I had to face that and be like, man, like I remember when Billy called me, let me know that I was cut. I was, what? Well, you're not going to cut me. What do you mean? What are you talking about? But he did, and it was definitely a wake up call there because, you could be as right as you think you are, or, objectively as right as can be. And if you're not saying it the right way or getting through to people, then it really doesn't matter, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard sometimes though, when you like just know you're right, especially when you're dealing with all your friends. It's one thing if you're talking to people that you don't really know, but like trying to be like calm and polite sometimes with your friends is like the hardest one. You should probably be. Oh, thank you. She drew me in.
Oh, that's adorable.
I love it.
Make it
nice.
Yeah, sell that thing. It's valuable now, dude.
Turn it into an NFT.
Yeah, we'll turn it into an NFT and start selling it. So how many seasons did you play with the Ironman for? Was it just that one?
Just that 1 year. And then I went back to Dynasty the next year.
That's right.
Played like 1 3/4 years after that. The next year was pretty fun, actually. I think we won the last event of that year. It was like Vegas, maybe?
Was that 2011, somewhere right in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won the series title, and you guys beat us. I think we played you, Oakland versus...
in the finals. You guys bunkered me, actually, in the last game. Yeah. Did you?
I was going for it, dude. Yeah.
Okay, maybe. All right, I may stay alive.
It might have been. I think we had Mouse on the team for that one too.
Okay,
but we were both.
I may not have been. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. This is so hard to remember all these games, and
I know, dude.
Like, we're talking that game's 10 years ago. Like that's one of the more recent ones for me.
Yeah. I know that was a fun tournament.
So Bob won the series title in that year.
Yeah, we didn't win a tournament during the year. We got multiple seconds and a third. And we won the series, but we didn't win. We were trying to win, obviously, that tournament against you guys. Yeah. But I think we were the first team. It would have been you guys on Ironman to dethrone Dynasty from the series title. But that was the first time that happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, with Bobby's guys.
Yeah, Justin Schwartz was on that team that year. I remember.
Yeah, Schwartz
on our team. Yeah.
Yeah, he was rowdy.
Rowdy, dude. He's the one. He's definitely a guy that didn't follow the no drinking during tournament rule. He's like the only one. You know, we're adults and way older than him, and he still couldn't.
Yeah. He liked to have fun, man.
He was good at paintball though, but man, he
was. Yeah.
He couldn't follow the rules ever.
Some people just aren't meant to follow the rules, you know?
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Sure.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. He's an amazing dude. He works at HK still. I think he works with the
Does he?
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's
I never
still
see
working.
or hear anything about him.
I think he does the sales.
Yeah, he's in sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
He's still in there. He's still working for the machine.
Oh, I love it. I wish I could see him. I like that guy.
I know. Yeah, he's the man.
But yeah, and then the next year we played like half the year. Oh, thank you, Missy.
We got more
I
art.
love it. Yeah, more art. This one looks like is it a horse?
Wow.
Horse.
Awesome. NFTs.
Thank you.
They're coming.
Yeah, right.
She's crushing it.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a horse.
Seriously though, that could be like the future. You know, you never know. Your daughter could like create NFTs and sell them and make a bunch of money. You know, that's like really happening.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen more as we move into the future. You know, that kind of stuff is going to really come alive.
They're going to be selling stuff that we have. You know, we're going to be like the old. They're like, what is that? The internet? What is this? What are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
Hold on, you collect things on the internet? No. Yeah. I need to hold it. I need to like.
It's gonna be stored in your brain in the Neuralink.
Yeah, some kind of
Little
ARM
thing.
chip or like.
What about that robot that's coming? Yeah, here we got the
Tinfoil hats.
Do you guys get into that?
We have tinfoil hat talk sometimes, so we keep the hats around in case we have to get into some tinfoil hat talk. But I think now's an appropriate time.
I follow that like. You got a question for me? Tinfoil hat time?
Yeah. What do you think about the Tesla robots that are coming out? Do you think it's going to be like Will Smith's iRobot, the movie, coming to life?
I think that it is like so cool, but I think it is pretty scary just because we grew up watching all these movies where like
Terminator.
They're good. Yeah, I mean the T-1000.
We've seen these movies. We've seen it. Yeah. So I think that the Tesla robots are going to be fighting the good fight. Huge Elon supporter. It's Boston Dynamics we need to worry about. Those are the bad guys.
Doing flips.
100%. These dog robots doing flips that look like they could just punch a hole through your entire house.
They can.
Those things are pretty frightening. I'm not going to lie.
Like, yeah.
I think that's sketchy. Very sketchy. I think you're almost like you're playing with fire.
You right?
What if it learns to become really smart, you know?
Well, of course it can.
That's the whole thing of the code is that it learns, you know, and with the internet where you can have the answers to just about anything.
Look at Marcelo's cone head right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, yours is rough.
Dude, mine's perfect.
That's so funny.
And actually, I mean, we have a whole, like I said, the PTG world, the Discord chat room is going off. They have questions for you. And one of them has to do with the pyramids. And let's see, who was it?
Pyramids.
It's Shadow. It's a great name. Shadow. He's wondering, did people or aliens build the pyramids? What do you think?
People or aliens build the pyramids? I'm gonna go with aliens.
Yeah.
Have you put any thought into that?
Not a ton. But I do think it is because you see how big those bricks are. And I mean, I think.
Have you been there?
No.
Me neither. I know. I want to go.
I want to go.
I mean, I guess they could have done it because I did see. I saw like some show on like Discovery Channel or something that was showing how like you can move extremely heavy objects like those giant bricks with like I forget how they did it, but you just use like other mass against itself, and then they were like rolling it on. They somehow get it on these like tree trunks or something. And roll around, whatever, however they did it.
Right.
But I don't know. It sounds way cooler to say that the aliens did it.
For sure. Yeah.
My theory is that it might just be from a lost civilization. And like we may have gotten to a point in the past on planet Earth where we had some form of humans that did have amazing technology and got completely wiped out. And there's just not much that we've found yet, you know, as far as remains. And, you know, because there is a lot of evidence of civilizations that like we're finding skeletons and things. We're like, wait, this dates back way before, what we've been considering recently.
Yeah.
So that's a fascinating thing to think about too. Like maybe we were just,
It was like a
there was
million years
cell
ago or
phone
something.
towers and
Mhm.
like they had all the stuff we got. They got Snapchat, all that, and then they got wiped out.
Yeah. What happened was they built robots. And the robots.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
we are a species of
we might be
amnesia.
closer than we think.
Yeah.
Dude, what if that is what happened? What if they got to the point they built robots? Terminator might just be a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It got
It
sent through time.
Yeah, it was like lost files. They found it, and then they created the movie because they found it inside the pyramid. Actually, they found the movie on VHS.
Just pop it right in the VHS and download.
Right.
Nice.
Dude, that's great.
Oh, is that
the mystery?
I like it.
Tinfoil hat time.
All
well,
right.
that was a good journey down tinfoil hat talk. It's always a good time when we put those on.
Yeah, I like that.
So
real quick, Johnny, we had to buy those specifically for our last episode with Damian Ryan.
Yeah. Because was there a lot of tinfoil hat talk?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of his claim to fame. He posts quite a bit of controversial things. He's like the Alex Jones of paintball. He has a lot of really good points.
He posts controversial things about paintball.
Everything.
Yeah.
Paintball.
Everything. Okay.
Politics. Aliens, different dimensions. A lot of it's, pretty interesting. And like I said, he does make some good points, but he's very
who's the paintball who do I follow? What's it called?
Paintball troll.
Who is that?
Well, so I think he's one of them. I think he might be paintball troll. He wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
And then pro paintball troll is still, we're not sure.
Nobody knows.
No, but I think we're getting closer. I've heard some, like he's a divisional player in Florida, I think, or something like that.
Oh, I thought he was a professional player.
I know. I still want to believe he's a professional player because it makes this.
Why
it makes
does
it
he know
so much more
about impact always?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He knows a lot about like some of the lingo and things that we use. Where I'm like that. You're a little more in the know than any divisional player that I.
He seems imagine. Like he or she, whatever, seems extremely in the know.
Yeah,
and I'm constantly
totally,
like,
I agree.
Something will pop up and I don't really get it, so I text Ryan and I'm like, "Hey, man, what does this mean? What's he saying about that?
Yeah, dude.
There was like all this stuff about excessive recently, and I didn't know. I still don't even really know what that means. They must have do they have like a D1 team or something?
They played in the open tournament recently against a bunch of pro teams and did pretty well.
And they beat New York Extreme.
Yeah,
it's all because Harris Hussein wasn't wearing New Balances.
That's right.
So excessive. So that makes sense then.
Yeah.
So in an open, will they have that in an open tournament? What is that?
Yeah, so pretty cool actually, Johnny. There's a lot of like little one-off leagues that are popping up. Rainey and Demetrius Ninos just did like an open event in Texas, right? So it was like a invite only, 10 teams, one field, $15,000 prize package.
Oh wow!
And so the NXL, they do minors and majors now. They do.
I saw that.
Typically it'll be 5 events a year, but in this year it's been 4 majors. And then I think there's 3 of the minors, and the minors, the pros aren't supposed to play at. So at this last one, though, what they did is they decided to have an open division so that, if any semi-pro teams or if anybody wants to come and play, they can play against some of the pro teams, which is a really cool thing. These little like one-off kind of opportunities for semi-pro or I mean, really any division could enter to come and compete and yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing. So Excessive put a team in, and Impact went. Some of the Dynasty guys played with a local team called ASG All Stars was their name. Typically the Gummy Bears. Let's see, Impact, Excessive is in a pro team. New York Extreme. Tyler, was there another pro team there? I think that was it.
DMG. Did they?
DMG. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think that's it.
And so you could just throw a team in and then
we could go play, bro. Like we could all put a squad in.
But how do they give all that money away? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the Astra event, the NXL, I don't know what the prize package was for that one, but the Astra event, I'm pretty sure it wasn't something that Meteor was trying to make a ton of money on. So they put majority of it back into the prize package, just to offer something cool for pro teams to go and do. Having Meteor on the show, he kind of explained it as more of a passion project, right? And again, giving an opportunity to teams to have a fun event that's run well, to come in and make some money.
Who's playing the harmonica? I hear a harmonica.
Oh, can you guys hear it? Sorry. Baby, can you turn that down? I thought Daddy was supposed to be.
No, it's okay. I just want to know what show it is because my kids will probably love it too.
She grabs the remote and says, "Kid shows on YouTube."
Yeah.
And then a bunch of stuff pops up and she just watches her little shows. Can you get Daddy another one of these?
Communication with the TV is, man.
Dude, you're having her bring you beers?
Yeah, little seltzers. She knows all about it. Just ask Mommy where they are. Thirsty.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I know the YouTube is really taking over with the kiddos for sure.
Dude, you just talking to the remote?
Yeah.
Like, she can just yeah, it's so easy for her.
It is.
Which is great because she's like self-sufficient. She can just watch TV on her own. She doesn't ask Daddy to put on 9 YouTube videos in a row,
Same. My 6-year-old, he's my best friend in the whole world and just helps me out with everything. He's my road dog, just always there.
I love that.
Little Theo. He's the man.
Yeah, little Theo.
Yeah. He's a great kid. He actually, it's called clipping up. It's where like you have these clips or whatever and you reach a certain level and then you get entered for a prize. He clipped up all the way to the top today. So Theo's crushing it in school and he's entered to win.
For school.
Yeah, for his for first grade. So it's like when you make good choices, then you get to clip up and you got this clip and if you get to a certain level, then you get entered to win like a prize at the end of the week. Yeah. So today the young stunner clipped all the way up. He made some good choices. So we're proud of him.
Great.
He's doing good.
I love that. Yeah, boy Theo.
I know. He's my pride and joy. I love that kid.
Dude, cool. Theo's a young dominator, man. I'm so excited. Yeah, he's one of the coolest little kids.
He's amazing. I lucked out. Fun. Max really keeps us on our toes. Theo's a little more calm,
That's how it is.
Yeah.
You don't get two of the same,
Oh no.
That's so funny.
Yep. Yeah, you have 2 beautiful kids, man. That's gonna be amazing, dude. Talk to me about that. How's it been? Father of 2. What's it been like?
It's honestly, it's so cool.
It is.
We've talked about it before a bunch. But yeah, I mean, you don't really get it until you have kids of your own. Mm-hmm. But it's the coolest thing. Like it's probably the craziest thing about me that's changed is like, I'm like emotional.
Yeah.
I watched a show, like a movie, like I'd never cried for anything. Ever. I watch baby, you bought me a water?
It's in a cup. It's this.
She legit put it on ice for me. One of those seltzers.
She cares about
That's
Dad.
Great, dude.
Yeah, thank you, baby.
Dude, she said you're getting a water, Dad.
No, but it's not a water. It's a seltzer. She iced it down
there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, but like watching movies and like, well, if anything happens, like if some kids get kidnapped or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But like now, like I'll cry like when I'm by myself, like watching a movie or something. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like I never used to cry ever. Like I have kids. It literally happened after I had her. Now like
it hits the heart chords, man.
It makes me mad.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you can't spill that on Mommy's computer. Can you stand over here for that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. So having kids is so cool.
Yeah,
it's literally the best.
And it's also also in the same token, don't rush into it because it's it's the real deal. It is heavy duty. You gotta, that's it. You're signed up for life, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, like you'll never be like ready for it, but and not only is it like amazing, but you just adapt and you learn and like you don't know anything when you have your first kid. You read all the books you want. You have no idea what just happened.
Oh yeah.
And all kids are different anyway, so there's not like a set strict playbook. You wing it, You just figure it out.
Shout out to Bobby Weaverton. He's always tuning in and listening. Bobby Weaverton is one of our favorite PTG fam out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bobby.
Yeah.
Bob and Weave, baby.
Yeah, Bob and Weave. It's like a funny joke. Yeah.
No, it's something Tyler and I have started saying throughout the show because we constantly have like things come up, issues with the soundboard or technical this, technical that, things go down, guest cancel last minute, like whatever it is. And we're like, hey, just bob and weave, man. Got to figure it out. You just got to, go on the fly, learn on the fly.
And Bobby's in there no matter what every week watching.
Yeah, exactly. So so now we're like, Bobby
we actually
Weaverton.
made up the name. It's a made up name.
I love it.
Made up person, but shout out to Bobby, because that's life. You gotta bob and weave. It's like when life throws you the curveball, you got to try and hit the home run still and still make things work.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's great having kids. She's back there. She's drawn a storm.
I know. God bless her. We're rounding out here. I just got a couple of my own personal questions, and I know we got the PTG fam that wants to ask you some questions as well.
Yeah,
they have some questions for you. But I want to ask you about the Gap paintballs. How much of a game changer was it shooting Gap at that time? And like, just, I don't know, any insights on the Gap legacy there?
That's funny. So those paintballs are amazing. The Dynasty paintballs, they smell like bananas, and they always did shoot really good. They were fantastic. We only got to shoot it in tournaments. We never really practiced with it ever. The paint we shot in practice always sucked. And the teams we'd play were always like bring their A game. So they were shooting like leftover paint they have from the tournament, like Hellfire, like Ultra Evil, whatever. And we're shooting like this hook bouncy ball.
Yeah.
But we got so much paint. Like, I don't remember. You can ask Alex. It was like, we shot like 2 million balls or whatever one year, like something bananas, and nobody got that, because we just played so much. But yeah, the Dynasty paintballs were amazing. Only thing was like, especially nowadays, you have like different lots of paint, and you have like a truck, and if one lot's not working, or the temperature changes, or the rain, or whatever, you go to like, okay, go to lot 803 or go to whatever, and like you can kind of work it around so it's like right for that environment. Like, we kind of like, they made a paintball for us, and like that's what we had. So we used to make like water ball. We would make like, so we'd have like the van, and we were our own like
cooking it.
Yeah, we were cooking it, or we're making a water ball. You put a little cap in there, and then you shake the bag up, and like, if it was too brittle, or so we were doing that on our own. So it was kind of a pain in the ass, but the paint was always so good. Like our paintballs were really good.
Yeah, and the size of them too. They were bigger paintballs than they are today. Like there was more paint in them.
Dude, when I finally played one of those 10-mans, I had some barrels. I had like an autococker or whatever.
9.0, yeah.
692 was the standard. That's what I always had. 692.
692. If you used like an 8.9, like the paint, they were tiny.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I was like 20 points off on a barrel that would fit one of these paintballs. I couldn't believe it. I didn't have a barrel that was like, I could see around it when I dropped it through. Like, it wasn't even close. And everyone was like Ryan was laughing. He was like, dude, those things, just put them on the wall. Like, you'll never use that paintball again. Like, why'd they do that?
Yeah. Just saving a little bit of money. And it's, shaving off that little bit saves quite a bit.
Weight too, probably, for shipping.
Yeah. Shipping, all that kind of stuff.
What size are they?
Typically,
what size barrel do you
it's
use?
like 7.9. I see myself using a 7.9 quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have that Aculock kit, but I don't remember the numbers on them. But I know that I never had a 7-something barrel.
No
way,
never.
Yeah, wouldn't work.
They didn't even make them.
Yeah,
you literally shot like an 8.9 or a 9.2. Like, those were your two options.
Yeah,
and they didn't have barrel kits, so like you had like
a whole barrel,
and they were just clinking around in your bag.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Those are the good old days, man.
I liked having the different barrel backs, though. I mean, it's the same thing as inserts, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, like I had a lot of one pieces when I first started playing, and then we got into the backs. Yeah.
Remember the Tasso? That's what I had, a Tasso, because it was a little bit cheaper than like the boomstick. And then I finally got a boomstick, and I was like, oh, dude, watch out. I'm shooting at everybody with this boomstick.
Yeah. Dude, the titanium boomstick was the business.
Yeah, I know.
That was the barrel.
I did have one. But yeah, those were crazy. But like, then again, I don't even think those. I think those were one piece too. So like, what was the barrel?
I think so too.
$200 or $300 barrel. Like,
dude, it's so heavy.
Right size.
You better pick the right size.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot more consistency back then with the paint across the board, and you would pick the size. Were they one piece? I think you're right, but I'm not remembering.
I feel like I remember.
I think you're right.
They started out one piece. Yeah.
Well, they definitely started one piece,
and then
I think that the titanium.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think the
think they're
titanium boomstick always stayed one piece. You might be right.
Yeah.
The ultralight definitely had different sizes. It was a 2-piece barrel.
That's right.
JT made a barrel that looked like the boomstick, but they were not very strong. And dude, I used to snap those barrels. I played so many games with half a barrel. I used to snap them off all the time. Dude, I'm tips up, but sometimes you're just wiling
Face
out
down.
trying to get in there somewhere and you're face down. Yeah, it's just what it is.
Especially in the pro level, like, things happen. You got to make moves and do things that you maybe not expecting to do, and things go astray, but it's
you're not always making a pretty dive into something where no one's looking at you, Sometimes you're just shagging ass, diving in there and just getting in,
Yeah.
Were you on the team, Johnny, when we played? I forgot what year it was with the Ironman. When we played, it was with the Ironman when we were playing in Philly, and we were playing against Impact, and I dove into a Dorito like the first point and busted my chin open, and then like a lightning storm came through, and the game got put on pause for a long time.
Were we playing at Smart Parts?
I
don't remember if that was Dynasty or Ironman when we played. Remember that one year we played legitimately at
It was at Smart Parts, right? Yeah, I believe so. It was the Nemacolin event.
So I don't remember what team I was on because I don't remember the year, but I definitely played that event. The reason I remember it so much is because it's the only time I've ever been shot in the balls. And I got shot in the balls, and it changed my life. Like, it is so... I was thinking, we were like finishing the game, and I was like in like a squat, and I was looking under the X, and I was kind of like crab walking, and I was trying to shoot this guy in the leg, and a one just bounced off the turf up in the dude. I went face down. Dude, they thought I had like a serious like injury, and that was done.
Okay, dude, I think you were with the Ironman. I think it was 08.
I lay there flat on my face.
Yeah.
The point ended. The buzzer went off. I was down. They had to come get me. I was like, I think they had to call timeout. It was horrible.
Yeah, it is, dude. There we go.
Look at all these NFTs you got.
I know.
All the art.
Love it. Dude, yeah, I've had a couple of them that are just drop. You're done. You're out the,
Well, I've been shot in the twig, but that was the first berry shot I took. The twig's brutal too, but the berries, I'll tell you what, that is it's another level.
Yeah.
It's another level.
I can't do all that.
Yeah, it's brutal. It is brutal. Hey,
yeah, I'm truly afraid of that.
Yeah,
so it's you've never had a really bad
No,
one?
it has, but like since like it's something that every time I'm at the paintball field, I'm afraid of that happening.
Well, I cut you off, so you busted your chin there, and then what happened?
Yeah, well, no, we were talking about, core sampling or taking a bad dive. I was wondering if because it was bad. My chin was like completely split open, dude.
Yeah.
I did that at one of the LA Opens back in the day. It was actually a cool picture of me. So I actually didn't play like the final game that we beat Bob, I think, maybe at the LA Open a long time ago. I dislocated my shoulder and I ate my tank trying to, because dude, these spots back then,
turf.
Not only were they small, they weren't turf. It was on that. It was
Kitty
LA.
Litter that's
SC
right.
Village. And they were brutal. The field is the field. It sits there for years and years. So people play it all year long. So they're not. It's not like smooth and like they're kind of banged up. And these spots were far, and you had to like you're running full blast, sending it on dirt, not on grass, not on so. And it was shaky. I had to like weave around this thing, and like I was getting shot at, and like I went to dive in, and I was kind of diving over this little hyperball tube to get into this little spot that was like little. And when I went in, I'd landed, and I ate the bottle, and it just split my lip wide open, and then, so that hurt. So then I'm going down, and I dislocated my shoulder. So like the last game, I would have played with the lip banged up, but my shoulder was so bad. And so there was only one game left, and I didn't play in the very last game, but we won. And I remember just running up and down that, because remember SC Village was like
it was
had those like walkways and like all that. And I'm like running back and forth, like bleeding and like cheering. And there's like this picture of me like just bleeding because my lips was totally split. That was when like magazine pictures were cool, but now everyone's on the internet for everything,
Yeah. Whoa. That's gnarly.
It's gnarly.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I got a scar on my chin from busting it on the tank too, but nothing quite like that. That's crazy.
Well, this was just like, it was
hit you right in the face. Yeah,
but yeah, I was bleeding both. I think I got both lips and my gum too. But the shoulder was that was when I always had shoulder issues, and I would dislocate it. That was in the very beginning when I had just started dislocating it. So like it hurt way more. The more the years went on, it hurts less and less when you dislocate it. But I dislocated it in a bunch of games. But that one, there was no playing with that. That one, but that was such a bummer.
Rusty Glaze. I was in Utah with G2 camp, and he was telling me about how he had shoulder issues too, and he would just mid-game, like it would come out
Pop
and
it back in.
he'd be on the field laying down, popping it in. I'm like, bro,
I did it so
that
many
is
times.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when it comes out, you just have no, when you put it back in, you have no strength in that hand.
Yeah.
So like you just kind of like loosely like grip the front grip and just play with your, mine's my left. So I would just play with my right hand the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did it
It's
so
crazy.
many times. It's brutal.
That's
Remember Short
so
did
brutal.
it in the World Cup finals, I think in 2007.
Did he?
Dove into the snake insert bunker, dislocated his shoulder, popped it back in, got in the snake, went down, shot people.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Shorty's
that's
savage.
for the love of the game.
Yeah.
For the love of the game.
What are you going to do? Come out?
No.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I can already see
the only
him.
other option.
Yeah. In his yellow goggles, you know,
Yeah.
those iconic goggles that he would wear back then.
Smelled like piss.
Yeah.
Look like this too, I guess.
Damn,
huh?
dude.
The yellow goggles.
That's
Dude.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sheesh.
Oh, baby. So, hey, Johnny, when can we expect to see you in the 40 over league that's going on? Are you going to be playing some 40 over paintball with Ryan?
They have that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll be 39 in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Perfect, dude.
But
One more year after that.
Paxson always tries to get me to play. He was always playing in like the 5-mans or like the little 10-mans. I think they do them at the events, like on the side. I think they're mechanical or something.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done one. Actually, I was going to play in the one in Las Vegas. Remember when I went out there?
Oh,
to hang
yeah,
out with you
that's
guys?
right.
I was going to play, but then I just didn't even bring my gear. But he was still trying to get me to play. And then they win the tournament. I'm like, oh, I should play.
Yeah. That'll be some good times, man. Always good times with
I would
Paxson.
love that. It's so crazy to think the 40 and over. I'm thinking that's the league that like Shane Pastana and like Poopy and like those guys play in. Like I'm not 40. Like how could I be 40? You know, like those guys are 40.
Yeah.
You know,
You're coming up on it right
those
there.
guys are 60 now probably.
Yeah, I
Dude,
think
you can come and play for the men's Team USA squad.
Mm-hmm.
Not the men, sorry, the senior citizen Team USA squad. No,
Thanks, Mark.
it's the over 40 class. Dude,
great.
honestly, I mean our team will be savage next year. Well, you've got 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, you won't quite be 40 next year. They usually do it in like July.
Well, like me, Brian, Ryan, Skinny Kevin.
Dude.
No,
Rusty.
not Brian. Brian's BC's like a year younger. I think BC's only like 37 or 38. But yeah, we're all like the exact same age. Alex, Rusty.
Yeah. Imagine you guys are gonna have a squad here in a couple of years, dude.
That would be really funny.
Yeah. Just
Rusty.
take over paintball again. You
What-
know, just
what-
like you guys did.
Was a side note, but one of the few photos I saw in that paint magazine, I just thought of it when you said Rusty, was Rusty wearing his little spin hat when he played on the Sitting Ducks with his brother. He used to wear that. He
with
wore this
Gator.
hat always. He wore a hat like I don't even know what it's called. It has like a little spinning,
Like the
wheel on
carnival
the
hat.
top.
Helicopter
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That was his look. Like that's what he wore. Like that's how I would know him.
Dude,
Thomas had the
somebody has to
mohawk.
bring that back.
He'll bring
Wow.
it back.
Yeah.
He would love that.
100%.
Dude, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, fine.
Well,
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into some of these Discord questions.
Why'd you just laugh about that? That made me nervous.
What's up?
You just giggled when you said that.
No, we have some good questions. The Discord crew definitely usually ask some pretty interesting ones. But no, don't worry, you got nothing to worry about. Promise.
The only thing I know about Discord is Call of Duty. I'm on the Discord every night.
Yeah, that's what Discord was originally for.
Join us in our Discord.
Gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
we
we're
would-
building an awesome community in here.
We would love to have you in the PTG Discord. Everybody
Sweet.
just chats about paintball and stuff.
Yeah.
Hold up, guys. What are we listening to now? What do we got on there?
I can't hear it because I have noise canceling headphones on. I can't hear it. Baby, can you? I'm sorry. I'm finishing up here. Can you? We can't have this. Can you put it in the little room?
I love
It's
it.
not even going to turn off. Leave it under there.
It's really loud.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Dude.
Sorry.
It's
It's
Kids,
okay.
man.
hey, that's the best. That's the
Yeah.
joys of life right here, man. Live.
Live.
Yeah, and what is that song? I know that song. My kids listen to it all the time too.
Oh, do your ears hang low? Do they dangle
Yeah,
to and
yeah.
fro? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Nice.
All right, so
Do it wobble to the flow.
yeah, they've even made rap songs out of that tune
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
Your chain
Sure have.
hang low. Awesome.
You want to go first, Marsh?
Yeah, this one from Welshie. It's a good one. Being with Dynasty from the start, would you have ever imagined seeing Ryan, Alex, and Yosh out there still performing at such a high level so
Yeah.
many years later?
Quick answer, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're maybe the only people that love paintball more than me, because that I know of, because they're still in it grinding. I mean, they always loved it so much, and they're so close and they're such good friends. I think it's probably easy for them. It gets harder when you get older because you have families, and that's the main reason I stopped this, because it was so much travel. Like, I lived up here, so Angel and I would fly down to San Diego every single weekend on Friday to practice, and we played more tournaments than you guys do now, but we practiced every weekend. So Southwest, Oakland, I'd meet Angel there. We'd fly down, we'd play, but then like that last year, we just weren't kind of doing stuff together. We weren't hanging out that much. Like, Ryan was doing his own thing. Like, me and Angel, like, I stayed at Alex's house a lot. Angel would stay at like John O'Mara's house. I think Yosh lived there, Nikki lived there. And we weren't just doing it. We'd go to practice, we'd go home. Like, we weren't like doing fun stuff anymore. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, no, for sure, I could imagine. They're just good. They're little. They're in shape. They're like, paintball athletic, big time. So yeah, for sure.
It's crazy to see them doing it at such a high level still,
Yeah.
I mean, especially Ryan. It's crazy,
yeah.
I think he's playing the best paintball he's ever played, actually, and he's almost 40 years old.
Well, I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast, because I would hate to hear him or have him hear you say that.
Don't worry. I definitely never tell him in person.
Good.
So
You should.
yeah.
I usually will I'll text him throughout the whole tournaments, and I'm usually telling him like, hey, what's wrong with you? Why'd you do that? Or like, why do you keep getting shot? Or like, I just bust his nuts the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I rarely tell him that he's doing well.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I like that.
Yeah.
That is the key. 100%.
Yeah.
Can't get comfortable.
So I got one from Tag, and it's you kind of already answered it. He was wondering, was Ollie leaving a big reason for you going to the Ironman?
No. Well, yes and no. So actually, when Oliver left, like, he shocked us. We showed up to practice. He fully has Dynasty gear on. I think we were playing you guys, maybe, Tyler.
Yeah.
And he shows up, and we're gearing up, getting ready to play, and he like sits everyone down and tells us he's leaving. We're like, what? What do you mean you're leaving? He's going to play for the Ironman. So that was a shock. But
dude, it was that was crazy. That whole thing was wild.
It came absolutely blindsided everybody. Like, nobody had any slight idea. And we instantly like got on the phone with Smart Parts, and like literally right then, before we started playing paintball, and like, we're like, we need to can we get him more money? And they're like, absolutely. Well, we'll give you guys more money. We'll do this. We'll make him this or that. We tried everything to keep him. And when he came there to that practice, like, his mind was fully made up. It was a done deal, But yeah, so me going to the Ironman, that helped for sure. The fact that there were I had like friends on the team, and playing with Oliver again was awesome, But I wasn't like, I'm only going wherever Oliver's at.
No, and you guys got to win again together, obviously, which was amazing.
That was sweet. I won on 2 different teams, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that was sweet. Yeah, it was really fun. Winning's great.
Bro, talk to me.
Great. It's crazy because like, I just was so fortunate in being like playing with the guys that I played with, because everyone was just so good. Like, we all kind of had our own role, and we were all good in our own respect. But like, I mean, how many professional paintball players do you know that have never won a paintball tournament?
A lot.
Like,
Dynasty's won like 50 or something. Like, I don't know how many. I honestly have no idea how many paintball tournaments I won, and I can't remember how many times we won World Cup. I swear, I can't.
Dude, you guys put on the ski masks and just took it all.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just, I almost feel bad because some people won't feel that, how it feels to like win, like with your boys,
Well, not World Cup.
It's so hard,
but the NPPL World Championships.
I'm just talking about in just a professional paintball tournament in general, like how hard it is to win one of those tournaments.
Super hard. Yeah,
and
it's incredibly hard.
It's incredibly hard. Yeah. So it's
Dude,
cool.
That does lead into just one more question, just because we're kind of on that topic with Dynasty. From Kaylin, choose 4 Dynasty players to play alongside you for your ultimate Dynasty squad.
Oh my God.
That's tough. That's got to be tough.
4 Dynasty players that I played with. Ryan, Brian Cole, Angel, Alex.
I think that's it.
Oh, that's
Those are your
4. Yeah,
4.
that's me. That's my 4.
Yeah.
Boom.
Power.
That's a squad.
I mean, I could pick any of them, but I kind of just picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's
Those
it.
are the boys. That's the crew.
I think we might win a lot with that team.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it's more than that. It's just I'm so close with all those guys. Like Alex, Ryan, and Brian were 3 of my groomsmen in my wedding. So I'm like, this is my boys.
Family.
Couldn't get closer. Yeah, I love those guys.
Chris Tucker, he has this. Yeah, his is pretty similar to that, so that kind of falls right in line with his question. And then Kalen also had another question. Who got the most ladies in the Dynasty heyday? Who was it?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna leave myself out of it. I would say Brian,
BC in the building.
Yeah, there we go. I can see that.
Later on, I'd probably Ryan, but and Oliver was really good too. But Ryan was still kind of young. Like he looked like a child for so long, like the chicks liked him. They loved him, but he was just so young,
Yeah.
looking. But he did great. He came into his own a little bit later on there and stunned it for a while. Pretty good.
Did you have a favorite line of players that you ever played with, or that kind of goes hand in hand with that line that you just threw out right there? I guess they're kind of.
I hated it when we had like 15 people or like 12 people and we had all these different lines. Like I didn't really like that. Yeah. It was just like we got to a point where like our team was like everyone wanted to play on our team, so we could like just get all the best players. Like, oh, he wants to play, we'll take him. It was too many people. I liked it better when it was like smaller. I never liked like a line. Like a line was like our 7-man team. You know what I mean? Like I like that.
Yeah.
Or like, that
was a squad right there, dude. Damn.
But yeah, I hated it when it was like line 1's up, line 3's up. You're on line 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, and you're on the penalty, and you have to like. It's like I just didn't like that. It was too many people. But I like playing. Like played with Frank Connell. Like I played with all these guys that are just so random.
Yeah,
that were on a team that were they were like very good on their own teams, and then next like we got on like Tyler Mashad.
Yeah.
Quincy, I think, was on our team for all.
Yep, Quincy.
Actually, the last year I played, we had Archie and Chad George on our team. It was so random,
Yeah.
I think that was the last
Billy Bernaccia too, right? Was that the same year?
No.
I think it was.
That was me. I didn't ever play with Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they picked him up after I quit. I don't remember, but I never played with Billy.
I think it was right after. Yeah, pretty soon after. That's when they got Billy on the squad. Right in there.
Yeah.
I know. There's been so many players that have come through the Dynasty camp. It's pretty wild.
Like they just did that shirt with like all the names. They sent a text out, and we had to send like all our signatures in or whatever so they can make that shirt. It was crazy. There were honestly a handful of people on there that I have never heard their name before in my life. And I think that's so strange, but I did. Yeah. There's a handful of people on there, probably not many, but I was just like, I don't know who that person is. And if somebody was like, they played on Dynasty, I would say, you're a liar. They didn't play.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, Ty, do you have any other questions? I think
just Kalen, he had like 3 of them, dude. A crazy story from the Dynasty house that you think should live on in infamy forever on PTG.
Dude, we could sit here till tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. probably, but probably something funny that's that I can share on this without getting in trouble. Is people didn't realize at one point we had like a farm at the house. Like we had a duck, we had a pig, we had like 2 chickens, pit bull.
Where did you get these animals?
Dude, Yo showed up with them one day. John O'Mara. A lot of people don't know John O'Mara, but he was with us nonstop all the time. And so Yo bought a pig, and this pig lived right above my room. So I had like this garage. I had the biggest room, but there was like a 2-bedroom apartment right above me, and it was Yosh and Oliver were in that one. and Yosh had a pig. It was like a little potbelly pig. And like if you lifted it an inch off the ground, it would squeal, and it was like a fire alarm going off. And so we constantly had this pig like squealing. It tipped over its water bowl and poured on my computer one day and like fried my computer.
Man.
But yeah, we had a duck, 2 ducks, I think, actually, in BC's bathtub. Chickens. We had a pit bull. The pit bull ate one of the chickens.
What?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
kind of
no.
shaky. I'm not into that. I felt really bad for the chicken.
Oh, man.
It was Sonny's. A lot of people don't know.
Oh, yeah, Sonny
Sonny
Lopez.
ID.
Yeah.
And it was Sonny's pit bull. This dog was named Butters. And,
Butters.
So we had.
He decided he wanted his eggs sunny side up.
Yeah, we befriended a Colt Cannon, who was a professional skateboarder. He was like super good at the time, and he lived right across the street from us. So he had like his guys come in. They built a mini ramp in our house, in our backyard, and we had a mini ramp. So we just had like all these people, like kids from San Diego State, coming over all the time, skating like all hours of the night. We put a light out there.
Dude, that's
and
awesome.
actually, Oliver used to be a really good skateboarder, so he used to skate out there all the time. And he actually ripped his knee like super bad, needed stitches like one day before an event. We thought he wasn't gonna be able to play. But no, there's just all kinds of fun, crazy stories.
Yeah.
Crazy stories at the house.
Dude, that's awesome that you guys
Again,
got
that's like the iconic Dynasty era, at that paintball house, what you guys have built there, the brotherhood. That's it. That's that inspired so many people. Truly did.
It was cool. I know a lot of teams try to do it, and that's awesome that they try to do it. Like Trauma, Strange, they all kind of like tried. And dude, we were super good friends. The Strange used to come out in summer, and they would just live with us for like some of the guys, like Dirty Dave, Fast Mike. Those guys, they would come out and just live with us for like weeks at a time, or like the GZ guys, like Mr. U. Marcus always had this line. He'd say, "Shitting or puking, Mr. U," because he was like passed out on our toilet, and we didn't know what he was doing. And he was in there yelling, screaming at him, trying to wake him up, like, "Shitting or puking." So yeah, all these guys would come out. Max Lundquist. I mean, dude, it was like everybody that played, like all our buddies that played professional baseball on all these other teams would just come like live with us for like a week. And like, we do the same thing with Matt and Alex, or Max and Alex Lundquist. We stayed with them in Sweden for like a week after one of the tournaments, and they put us up in their house, and like with Maddie and Davey, and like we just had the time of our lives. We were all so close, even though we kind of hated each other on a paintball field. We'd fight and argue, and then like afterwards we were just boys, It was really fun.
That's how it goes.
It was a really, really cool time.
Yeah, dude. Well, Johnny, from the bottom of both our hearts, dude, thank you for inspiring a generation and for, keeping the paintball tires lit. You guys really lit them up nice and bright for us to roll into. So we appreciate you, bro.
Dude, it's fun. I love watching you guys. Much support. I was heartbroken when you left my boys, but
I know,
dude,
it was difficult for me too.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks,
I
brother.
love both your guys' games. You guys are both, two of the best players in the game. I love watching both of you guys play. So
thanks, dude. That means the world to us.
Watch when they get a couple on the West Coast. I'll be out there.
Hell yeah! I know we need some more Cali tournaments.
Dude,
we'll be back in Vegas next year.
Then I'll be there.
There we go.
Yeah. It's always good having you out there, man. I really enjoyed having you at the Las Vegas one. But Johnny, man, you're the best. Thank you, dude.
It's fun, dude. Love you guys.
Round of applause.
Hey, and major love to your family. You guys have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us. We appreciate it.
No worries, boys. Thanks a bunch.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, dudes.
Peace. That was another great episode. What an amazing time sitting down with Johnny and reliving some of those old nostalgic memories. Everybody knows, the OG Dynasty days have really shaped and transformed the game of paintball. So getting to hear it, from Johnny's perspective and talk to him for a couple hours and really just catch up was really awesome. So again, listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys would like, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com, and we would love, to see you guys hop in our Discord. It's a great way to support the show and support everything we're doing. We're building an amazing community in there, offering you guys tons of cool opportunities to be involved with the show. And again, so much of it goes back into bringing you guys a better product and just greater episodes with all the guests that we love to hear from. So again, that's ptgpaintball.com. You guys can click on the Patreon link. It will, once you sign up, it'll automatically connect you with the Discord, and we'll see you in there.